Now recording, this is episode 32?
I don't know.
Let's go.
32 or
Give a
33?
guess. 32?
Fight Club, Unlimited.
Oh,
What?
it's
What?
32.
No,
What?
sorry.
I'm sorry?
Sorry.
I'm sorry? What did you say?
This is CXXII Night, Unlimited Fight Clubs, episode what? Which episode are we?
34. It's 34.
34? What the
34.
fuck? Have we been
Unlimited
doing this
Fight
for
Club.
34 episodes? I just noticed the other day that we've been doing this for a year.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we did
Been reading a single
A single visual novel
year.
for a year, and we're not even close to finishing it. I think we're just past the midway point.
And it's not even that long, you know.
But
No, it's pretty long.
eventually our grandsons are gonna see the beauty that is Heaven's Feel.
To be fair,
Yeah.
Fate's Stay Night is quite long. So.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe Tsukihime.
Tsukihime would be cool actually, because it's so much shorter than Fate's Stay Night. It's like twice, half the size.
But like by the time we are done with Fate Stay Night, we will have access to the Tsukihime remake.
Yeah,
And
but
also-
we need to play the old one. I'm gonna place this as a requirement. We need to play the original Tsukihime before we play the remake.
That's fair.
I think we need to be able to compare, because the first one is a classic, even if it's actually worse.
Okay, but here's a question.
Yeah.
What if Mahotsukai no Yoru gets released, the translation? And
Well,
then,
it will. The official Aniplex translation is going to get released this Christmas, I think, but that's bad. The translation is not good, so I think I'm going to be waiting for Hollow Moon to finish up their thing, which looks a lot better, and we're going to play that
okay,
instead.
so what if by the time we are done with Heaven's Feel, Hollow Moon releases the translation, the fan translation?
I mean, we're going to vote on what we're going to read next, so we'll find out. I think we had we've run a couple test votes, and we've had Muramasa, Yuno, Diazirai,
Oh, that's
stuff
like
like that
Diazirai.
come out on top a couple times. I think somebody voted for fuck, I don't remember the name. The one that I bought in high school that cost a fucking $1 million. But we'll see when we get to the end of Fate's Stay Night 5 years from now. We're gonna vote on what we're gonna read next, and it hopefully will be Kino.
No. The end of Fate Stay. No, okay, sorry, Fate Stay Night. Sorry, I was thinking you said UBW. UBW are probably gonna finish this year. Heaven's Feel.
Oh, we're definitely gonna finish UBW 2 episodes from now, or 3. For sure, we're in the second to we're halfway through the second to last day. It can't take too much longer than
This
this.
year,
This year,
somewhat.
Heaven's Feel, we will finish sometime by June next year, I think, which is gonna be when the F-Bates cut gets text complete. It's not gonna be released yet, I don't think. I think the F-Bates cut is gonna get fully released, like fully edited and stuff by Christmas next year, which is funny because we started before F-Bates started translating. So so that's something. But yeah, it's gonna happen, guys. Trust me. At one point, Fate's Stay Night will be over, and the best part about Fate's Stay Night being over is that the ending is gonna fucking destroy all of us.
You nearly sound like Yandere Dev. We are going to finish this one day, I swear.
Oh, definitely we are.
Hollow Ataraxa after Heaven's Feel?
We can if people vote for it.
Oh, okay. We have to vote for it. Okay.
Yeah, we have to vote. I won't allow people to vote on sequels before we play the original game, but people aren't obligated to vote on the sequel just because we finished the first game. Although I wouldn't mind playing Hollow Ataraxia. That game is very fun.
Is Holotarax V?
Is that game that has a blonde Rin, right?
No. Blonde Rin shows up in one CG of Fate Extra CCC, I think.
Yeah, it's Fate Extra CC. It's
Which
in the
hasn't been.
anime.
I think they finished the CCC translation. They're just editing it now, so that's cool. We'll be able to play that sometime soon
Oh my god.
for the first
I don't
time.
know.
Yay!
I don't know if Fate Extra CC is good because I saw the anime and it wasn't that good.
No,
but
the anime
it's-
has very little to do with Extra.
Okay.
It's a different thing, kinda. I mean, somewhat. It's complicated, but it doesn't really connect with the narrative
It's
of the.
complicated by Avril Lavigne, or it's complicated.
No, it's complicated. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to see where we go from here, because we have... What the fuck is happening? My upstairs neighbor is having like a fucking stroke or something. Jesus Christ. I'm curious because we have some great options, some great game options. And I bought some, I got some money, I think it was for Christmas. So I bought a bunch of new games, some of which are very well regarded as well. So we're gonna see when push comes to shove. Now that they released the PlayStation 2 version of Demon Bane for PC in English, which is just a much better version of the game, I want to play that at some point. I'm gonna be voting for that because I love that game. But we'll see, whatever. Although we do need to play Muramasa at some point. This is getting absurd.
Oh boy, Muramasa. We gotta play what? Muramasa, Diazire.
Well, we're gonna find out. Interlude 15-2. The search ends rather quickly. Lancer is thought to be specialized in battle. This is right after Shiro and Archer start exchanging blows. This is Lancer searching for Rin, who's captured in a different part of the palace, if you guys don't remember.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Lancer is thought to be specialized in battle, but he's actually skilled in magic. Geibolga is not the only thing he obtained in the Country of Shadows. He is the hero who obtained all 18 of the Runes of Origin. But since he prefers to battle using his lance, his magic rarely gets used. And now is one of those rare times.
Yosh.
The thing that flies above the floor suddenly drops. The Barkana rune finishes its search and turns back into a stone. Let me just check if I think the audio levels are... Wait. Okay. Hopefully this isn't going to be one of those episodes where the audio is all weird.
誰だお前
Oh man, an unfamiliar voice stands up in confusion. Lancer realizes that he knows the voice and recalls who he is.
ライダーのマスターじゃねえかなんだとっくの昔にくたばったもんと
He stops halfway. He sees Tosakarin behind the boy. She's tied to a chair. That's fine. That's to be expected since she's captured. But there's a bit more to the girl. First of all, the chair is on the ground. She's tied to the chair, so Tosakarin is also on the ground. Her long black hair is covered in sand, and something red can be seen in her mouth. She must have cut her lip. There's also a slight bruise by her mouth.
お前ランサーかなんだよ
Well, our predictions weren't wrong, it seems.
話が違うぞお前はキャー
The fist smashes into Mato Shinji's cheek. The light back fist blows the boy to the wall.
おおああ悪いなガキ口より先に手が出ちまった
Thankfully, Lancer came right on time to stop the fuckery from happening.
I love Lancer for this.
What a hero.
I think Lancer did what everyone wants to do was in the
All this
personal
time.
life. If the person watches Fate.
He didn't kill the boy since it was unconscious. But it would not have been unconscious if Tosakarin looked paler and her clothes were more disordered. He would have consciously tried to blow the boy's head off if it were the case. Actually, Lancer does not care how a captive is treated, but he will not tolerate having his spoils snatched by somebody else. Spoils for him are enemies he has to kill and women he favors.
ランサー
Okay, thank you for that information.
Tosaka-rin groans, still tied up to the chair. She must have been unconscious, as her voice is not too much different from when she wakes up.
いや、朝だぜ。起きろ、ぐうたら。
Lancer gives out an out-of-place greeting and walks to Tosaka.
なんでここアインツベルンの城よ。
承知している。ああ、いいから動くな。今その手枷を切ってやる。その後は好きにしろ。広間に行ってバカどもの喧嘩を止めるなり、裏口から帰るのも自由だ。
The red lance appears.
それは助かるけど。ランサー、後ろ。
Oh fuck. The Lancer turns around at Vin's warning. The one appearing there is unexpected even for him. The corner
Oh, no.
of the room, the one walking
Me.
past Mato Shinji is.
そこまででなんすよ。協力しろと言ったが、深入りしろとは言わなかった。
Kotomine Kirei, the one assumed to have been killed by Caster. Yorokobe Shonen. Rin lets out a surprised voice. My man was alive all along indeed.
I like how immediately after he appears, there starts to go there's an entire orchestra starting to going off.
I love how even Lancer,
his presence.
even Lancer is fucking shocked that Kirei's here. What the fuck? What are you
Wait,
doing here,
how?
man?
By the way, why didn't he know? Isn't
I mean, he's been working undercover for so long, right? They must have cut
Yes,
comms or
how?
something.
yeah, but how didn't he know that Yorokobe man was alive?
No, he sure knew. This was all planned out. Somebody sent Lancer to work with us, remember?
Yeah,
He
but
just
I
didn't know he was
I
here.
didn't know. Ah, makes sense.
Lancer glares suspiciously at the priest. Oh, this is fun. I keep sending this meme to the channel, to our group chat, and you guys are gonna understand the meme now.
おい、いつから終始買いしやがったんだ、お前。俺のマスターは表には出てこないのが心情だったんじゃなかったか。
変えるような収支などない。
Damn, Kotomine just be like, I'm actually not
あち
religious,
らの
man.
始末を命じたはずだが、存じたか。
あれは放っといても自滅する。その前にやり残した仕事を片付けに来たんだが、お前がここにいると
You
いう
guys
ことは
remember
そこのガキはお前の差し金か
that we had a seemingly unforeseen issue with Iliasville getting axed, so we need a new vessel.
Yes.
人聞きが悪いな。
Oh no, it's going to
彼
be
とは
rain.
協力関係だ。聖杯を手に入れるため、
Oh
共に
no,
認
that's
め合っ
going
た
to
な。
go very poorly.
Yeah, we work together as my vassal sexually assaults this girl that I'm working with. The priest says so without looking at the boy moaning in the rubble.
そうあんたがそう簡単にくたばるわけないと思ったけどしぶとく生きてるばかりか悪趣味ここに極まるっていうか人畜無害な神事を懐柔して
Very
どうする
harmless,
のよ
very harmless,
She said that.
Yeah.
She's saying that.
very harmless.
She's saying that. She's saying that after the bruise on her lips.
Oh yeah.
I think it's funny that Kotomine doesn't even care that Lance is there. Like, those
こ
cool,
の状況におい
cool
てもお前
attacking.
は遠坂凛らしい。もう少し出来の悪い弟子ならば惜しむこともないのだが。
The priest laughs. He looks and sounds as though he's giving a benediction to the dying. A chill runs up the girl's spine. At that moment, she realizes her fate. With a saintly smile, the priest gazes upon the sacrifice who had been his pupil for the past 10 years.
待てよ、琴峰。その女はどうするつもりだ教え子を助けたいと言ったお前の言葉は嘘だったのか
Lancer glares at his master while standing in front of the girl.
嘘なものか。彼女はここまで育てた大切な駒だ。
Man, Kotomine is
10
just
年
like
にわたり欺き
showing
続
his
けたの
hand.
だからそう簡単にリタイア
How
されては
brutal.
済まない
Or someone saying that he just, I manipulated you. I've been manipulating you for your whole life. He's so chill about it.
This man is a fucking sick monster. That's what he is.
I forgot that he
お前に彼
the
女の
command
警
spell.
護を任せたのだ。わずか2日ばかり
Look
の
at
延
this
命だ
sick
ったが、
fuck.
親心としては十分すぎるのではないかな。
Man, Lancer is not having any of this. The priest walks past Lancer and looks down at the girl on the ground. The girl glares at her former instructor.
SS 神父、あんたならやりかねないと思ったけど、本当にマスターだったなんてね。監督役のくせにゲームに参加するなんて、反則もいいところじゃない。
She actually
I think
calls
it's-
him fake priest, which is
I think-
more appropriate.
Oh,
I think- Is in another place.
その割には落ち着いているな、リン。やはり気づいてはいた。
Could it be that Rin has just given up? She's like, you know what? Fuck it. I can't do anything anymore.
当然でしょ。自分のサーバントを見せなかったのも、あんたを疑ってたからだもの。
I mean,
Oh, there is
she could do some
ま
weird
さか
shit
初めから
to
騙さ
pull
れてると
Saber
は思わ
here,
なかったわ。
but
初めから
Oh, it's normal again.
then the priest frowns as if the words are unexpected.
何よ。文句あるっていうの？キレ。
いや、初めからというが、それはどのあたりを指しているのかと。
The priest grins. He looks down at the girl with utmost pleasure.
もっと。キレ、あんた。
Oh man.
それは今回の聖杯戦争が始まってからか、それともお前が言う初めからとは。
With that, the girl understands everything. Her face turns pale and she looks up at the man she studied under for 10 years in disbelief.
そう。殺したのはあんただったんだ。
当然だろう。
Yikes.
恩師であった。
He was the one that killed
騙し
Tosaka's
討ちは
father.
たやすかった。
So it was actually genius. He killed her dad and then took her in as his pupil.
This
Just to be able to turn her into whatever he wanted. As if he was doing her a favor.
I'm impressed.
This man is, I'm telling you, this is a
Yeah,
sick man.
Specials. You need to be a special scumbag for this.
For real. It was one of the things
This,
that... Good.
this requires some talent.
This is actually one of the things Fate Zero does super well, is just Kire slowly, like, showing how much of a fucking sick bastard he is. The scene where he
Kire
kills Tokyomi, Rin's father, is very poignant. A grinding sound. The girl hangs her head and grits her teeth.
行き場に迷えクソ神父。断言してやるけど、あんたに居場所なんてないんだからね。あんたみたいな生き損ないはね、性に合わない天国あたりで針のむしろにくるまってろっての。
The girl keeps on cursing him. Of course, the priest does not care about such things. But the boy is overawed by her change. Mato Shinji never thought Tosaka-rin would show this much emotion.
琴峰、遠坂は僕がもらったんだって知ってるだろ。
Fucking disgusting
あいつ
pig,
には
man.
boy,
僕だ
Fuck me.
This is to
あ
that.
んたはただ教会でこっちの守備を待ってればいいんだ
Batman
よ。
walk.
I would be
Batman walk.
surprised if Kotomi just killed
Yeah.
Shinji for no reason.
There you
彼女には
go.
ここで聖杯になっても
This
ら
was
わ
the
ねば
plan.
ならないから。
So the funniest thing is that Rin wasn't even plan A. He put in all these years of work for her to be plan B.
Yes.
This is so fucking disgusting, man. Jesus Christ.
He is the backup. By the way, do you realize something? He has three? Three Endar and Gilgamesh. 4 participants of the Holy Grail War.
In his pawns.
Specifically as part of his plan. His pawns. Shinji is his pawn. I have 5 because he killed Lancer's master and effectively made Lancer his pawn, his personal pawn. And
Yep.
then worked on for years to guarantee that Ilya and Rin would be on the war as people that he knew and he could use to use as a vessel. And then he replanted Gilgamesh just to be his special hitman in cases things got out of hand.
Man, Kire is fucking genius. Holy shit.
Do you realize that aside from the literal two dudes that are not even magi, everyone was under somewhat of Kirei's.
Oh yeah.
Under Kirei's plans.
Absolutely. Castor was the only one that could pose a threat to.
And Saber.
Castor and Saber, indeed. But I mean Castor in the sense that she also is a very manipulative whore.
Oh yes,
but,
and partially Saber because she's a unit.
Oh yeah.
She has the power even with the worst master to be a drunk.
Castor's only problem is that she's extremely impatient and also thinks too highly of herself, which Kotomine is neither. So
do you realize that she somehow killed him and didn't check the body?
Yes. The biggest mistake you could ever commit.
He was capable of somehow dying to her face and tricking her.
I love Kotomine. He's such a fucking monster.
He is either very dumb or he is very smart.
He must have prepared some sort. He must have known this was gonna happen. Like Kotomine wouldn't just let her barge into the church without knowing that she would.
Oh yeah, remember, he has Lancer and Gilgamesh. Of course he would not let her just barge in.
This is insane, dude.
Gilgamesh is enough to kill Master, and Lancer is more than enough to fight Assassin, at least to a standstill.
I mean, if anything, his plan turned out to work exactly as intended, because the other guys did kill each other. And now there's only 3 servants in the war, technically, outside of Gilgamesh, who isn't in the war. And 2 of them are going to kill each other at some point, assuming that Archer kills Shiro, which is what they assume. Archer and Saber are going to fight, and then maybe Saber is going to be left. And then Lancer and Gil can just fuck Saber up.
I mean, whatever the result, Gilgamesh is stronger than all of the servants together, so...
Yes, that is the last point. At the end of everything, he not only has all these plans set up, literally 4 masters under his at least eyes. He has a special third party who is the strongest servant imaginable, just so that he can be the hitman in case.
I mean, yeah, like really, he could win the war in 2 days, but he isn't impatient and he likes to conserve his energy, and he also likes to see people suffer. So he'll just let people deal with themselves and clean up with Gil.
Let's realize something. In Fate Stay Night, when Castor attacks, she has, let's think, she has her master, the dude, I don't remember his name. She has her own servant. She has an army of zombies, and all the energy that she could ever want.
And she still loses to Kotomine.
No, and he only needed, Kotomine only needed to send one of his weapons.
Yep. It's kind of nuts.
He didn't even send his whole army of Lancer and Gilgamesh and even himself. He just needed one dude.
On the topic of even himself, we haven't even seen Kirei fight yet. Oh man. We've seen Kirei fight on light mode in the end of the Fate route. But there is more to come in Heaven's Feel. Don't worry about it. There's gonna be some. I'm not gonna spoil it. Not any more than I already have.
Wait a minute. Elaborate on that. Wait a minute. No. Elaborate on that.
Okay, I'm gonna say one thing. Kotomine is absolutely crucial to the plot of Heaven's Feel. He shows up a lot in Heaven's Feel. He's like a main character in Heaven's Feel.
He is crucial in
he's
basically
again.
No, he's crucial in all of them, but he's like usually like a mysterious guy in the background. Kotomine is very present in Heaven's Feel. Like
That's true.
He's part of the main party, kinda.
I think he appeared more than Saber.
He does. No joke. So we're gonna see a lot of cool Kotomine stuff in Heaven's Feel. Very cool Kotomina stuff.
Kotomine stuff. Whatever the heck cool Kotomine stuff is.
The only ones who understand are the priest and the sacrifice, Tosakarin.
You're gonna see the big plot playing of Kotomine.
Yeah, we're gonna see
but
Kotomina's master plan number C, letter C.
I really want to imagine what exactly did he put in place to be Saber's master before Shiro just stumbled into this entire situation by randomly calling Saber on. Or did he knew about Shiro?
I mean,
he was like, okay.
I'm sure he expected Tosaka to be Saber's master. But that wouldn't matter because Tosaka's his pawn. Either way. And he has Gilgamesh.
No, partially because what's in my mind is Shiro is the son of the previous Saber master.
Yeah.
So Kotomine has a little bit of an idea to, okay, there's that dude that can easily beat me up that is there.
Kinda. I mean, I think Kotomine didn't know that Shiro existed. Because think about it, he was the one that was responsible for all the children that survived the fire. But Shiro never showed up there because he got sent from the hospital straight to Kiritsugu's house.
No.
So
didn't he keep any tabs on Kiritsugu?
I don't know. Probably not. Kiritsugu was doomed to die anyway. Like he had been cursed by the Grail. So he wasn't a threat anymore. And as far as Kotomine knew, he was up and done with.
Feels like an amateur move for Kiritsugu standards. To have yet the biggest opponent in the entire war just be left unchecked.
Well, in either case, it did turn out to be a blunder. But he adapted fast to Shiro's presence. He just didn't expect Shiro to be...
It is kind of funny. It is kind of funny because Shiro is the only thing that is out of
his
Kirei's equation, this thing. And in the previous route, it was Shiro who stopped Kirei's plan, so yep.
Yeah, Shiro, the thing is, Shiro is such a fucking massive problem because he changes. Like his capabilities change dramatically over the course of the war. It's very difficult to plan ahead for somebody that just gets better so fast.
It's very hard to fight against plot armor, huh?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep on going. Well, yeah, in any case, Archer is going to disappear soon. Even if he beats Saber, he's going to die.
I don't know,
anyway.
I don't know what is his 50th stage of his,
honestly, really
in the super extra final form of his noble phantasm. So I
Kotomine, the thing about Kotomine is that he doesn't even need to fight Archer. Like as soon as he summons the Grail, he's pretty much in charge. Like he can just sit in the temple or in the church and fortify the fuck out of it, and Archer and Saber are gonna have to hunt him down anyway. So he can just snipe them. He's playing the fast game now. Like there's no need to put in any more effort unless they find a way to get Rin out of here. But we'll see. Very high tensions. The ending of UBW has some wild shit happening. I told you guys. The priest walks away from the girl with those words. The only one in front of Tosakarin is Lancer. Oh, this scene in the anime is pretty good.
Oh god, boy.
Oh, my memory's kind of bad because I thought this scene didn't happen in the anime.
Only Mato Shinji reacts to those words. Tosakarin glares at the priest, but bites her lip without speaking. The priest's smile already told her that she was going to be killed here. She understands that she will not be saved, and that she won't be heard even if she begs for her life. That's why she doesn't complain. That is the only way she can resist, and that is her will of opposition. She won't give up until the very last second. Help might arrive even at this moment, and she might be the only one that survives after this room miraculously crumbles. She won't give up. but she also understands it's impossible. That's why she has no fear, except for one thing. She imagines that boy's expression when he finds her dead after coming to save her. She doesn't want him to cry. It angers her that she's the cause of his tears, and she doesn't know how she can apologize to him. No, she can't apologize if she dies, but she still doesn't want him to cry.
ごめん、エミヤ君。私、先にリタイアする。
I'm retiring.
So she decides to apologize ahead of time. It does no good, but it calms her down.
どうしたランサー。相手は少女。
She's so admirable, the whole no regrets thing, even at the time of her death. The priest shows no mercy. To that,
お断りだ。今回のは従えねえ。俺にやらせたかったら、その霊樹でも使うんだな。
Lancer replies while looking at the priest as if he's an enemy.
何？
Nani? Man, look at Kotomina's face. Look at this motherfucker's face. He is unpleased.
He's looking down on a servant. The balls of this man.
The priest narrows his eyes. The master and the slave, the air inside the
This man
room,
has some balls.
freezes as they stare at each other.
He might be a priest, but Jesus Christ.
仕方あるまい。自分でできることに霊樹を消費するわけにはいかん。
Man, this is so fucking terrible. He raises his left arm. He does it anyway. I don't like doing this, but whatever. He raises his left arm. I love how Kotomine is fully aware that he could do all of this by himself, but he's like, why the fuck should I? I'll just tell this motherfucker to do it.
I myself. Or no, I'm bored. I will let someone else do it, and
I'm gonna watch as they hatefully, spitefully do it. The priest activates the command spell on his arm.
The ball is on this man.
自害しろランサー。
Hit yourself, Lancer.
And that's where the meme comes from. He vomits up blood, but that is nothing compared to the blood spilling from his chest.
ことみね。貴様は。
Volga finally hit her target.
His voice is a whisper now. The spearman, Lancer's chest and heart are pierced by his own lance.
さらばだ。お前の役目はとうに終わっている。
This recontextualizes what he said. Kotomine claims he can kill a servant.
Oh yes.
Think about that. The man in blue armor falls to the floor. Oh man, Shinji's pissing his pants right now. Redness permeates the floor. There's no sign of him getting back up. The spearman in blue has been defeated by his own lance at the command of his own master. The priest moves. He walks over to the girl and crouches down. Her heart. He stoops so that he can easily pull out Tosaka's Rin's heart.
ことみね。約束が違うじゃないか。遠坂は僕にくれるって言っただろう。
And she's gonna die.
The priest.
Shinji, you're trying to argue against this man.
Yeah.
He just killed a servant in front of him.
The priest gives the boy a wordless glance.
ダメだ。遠坂はダメだ。そいつには借りがいっぱいあるんだから。生きていてくれなくちゃ困る。
Mato Shinji protests, his teeth chattering at the sight of Lancer's corpse. Run away, man. This is a bad idea. But he stops. The boy slowly retreats, unable to take the priest's stare. He looks from the boy to the girl.
最後に何か言い残すことはあるか。遺言ぐらいは聞こう。
Oh, thank you for that mercy, you fuck. His words are simple.
こういう時の私が何を考えているか、あんたなら知ってるはずでしょ。
Tosagarin answers in her normal manner.
そうだな。最後まで諦めないのがお前だ、リン。同時に覆らない現実を瞬時に認めるのもお前の素晴らしさだ。いいぞ。その矛盾はなかなかに芳醇だ。
He shows no hesitation. The priest grabs the girl's breast right on top of her heart. The girl closes her eyes at the sensation. appears. The heart is pierced and blood gushes out. Even after being abandoned, the room is still used as a disposal for corpses.
God damn, she's dead.
The one to gasp is CXXIII. Blood drips onto the floor. The dripping sound is made by something above her. From the chest of the priest, who is looking down at the girl. Blood pours from his mouth. The wound on his chest is fatal. The weapon protruding from his back is the cursed lance that always strikes its target. Remember, gentlemen, we must never forget, battle continuation A does not give up easily. It allows for battle even on the verge of death, and allows the user to stay alive until they clearly receive a fatal blow.
Let's just make a pause. Gilbolga is the worst weapon in the history of the world. Even his own master can't kill correctly.
The priest...
And I bet Kotomina Kiri is going to somehow survive because Gilbolga will not kill a single person till the end of its night.
The priest shows no emotion. He's like, what the fuck? With his lips covered in blood, he turns to Lancer. Oh my. Actually true. He survived worse.
I really wanted him to say, this is but a flesh wound.
Anyone can tell that the ironic voice is bluffing. Lancer has no vitality. He has no heart and his body is about to disappear. The demonic lance is pulled out. The priest, having nothing to show for his departure, falls and dies. No matter how great his mastery of magic, or how powerful his divine protection, he is still a mere human. There is no way for him to be alive after being stabbed in his heart by the demonic lance. Remember, the lance does poison you. You're destined to die after getting hit by it. The only reason why Shido didn't is because he had Avalon inside of him. So
Archer didn't get actually hit, right?
No, he didn't. He deflected it with the shield.
Yeah, the shield.
The knight leans against the wall and tries to hold up his disappearing body, but it's only temporary. Lancer will disappear once he falls to the ground. He lost his heart and his master. He's still able to maintain his body only because of his dirty survival tricks.
Dirty survival tricks sounds so weird.
I know. Shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
It's Rin free already. Can't she just take Shinji out of existence?
Oh, she can. The girl who was staring at the dead priest. I mean, she's on shock probably. In shock, but...
I really want to see someone just deck Shinji right now, like... Just
oh, don't worry, Shinji's gonna be decked.
In the head.
Don't worry, it's gonna happen. The girl who was staring at the dead priest is brought back to reality by the laughing voice.
Mato
Shinji kicks the priest's corpse. The dead man does not move. That must have pleased him as the boy kicks the priest's head with all his might. A heavy smacking sound echoes in the room. The sensation and the sound excite Mato Shinji more than he expected.
Just two questions right now. With Kotomina Kiri gone, who exactly has the knowledge to actually...
Oh, you know.
The grill?
You know.
How is Gilgamesh's plans affected by this, if at all?
Oh man, I mean, not much. He doesn't have to share the grail with Kotomina anymore. He can just do it himself. Remember, Kotomina isn't giving him shit. He's getting the magic from the kids in the basement.
The what?
The kids in the basement, man. Of the church.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! The kids in the basement.
Indeed. He laughs. The boy whose sanity...
Wait a minute. But then why is he connected to Shinji?
No, he's just nominally connected to Shinji. There isn't like anything going on.
That's why be nominally. Why?
To
Why
cause
is Shinji
chaos.
here, then?
So, really, what Kotomine probably wanted was to get Shinji killed in the battle against the Iceburn. He doesn't give a fuck about this kid. Do you think he cares?
God damn it! Why don't kill him? Why just don't simply twist
Because
his neck when
Shinji
he
can make Tosaka suffer if he's alive and make all this much more bittersweet.
Wait a minute. Did Shinji seriously live all this time after Rider's death just because Kotomine wasn't bothered enough to kill Shinji?
Pretty much, yeah. He's like a cute mascot. He's like a pet. You can have him walk around and piss on the walls and kick people.
Shinji cannot be described as a cute mascot. I'm not allowing that.
Okay, he's a cute serial rapist. Let's put it that way.
No, he's not cute. He's not cute.
The boy, whose sanity is almost gone, walks toward Tozakarin with staggering steps. Shinji, do you really want to do that, man? Man, Lancer killed Kotomine. He can kill you as well.
How can she act like this? What the fuck, Shinji?
I'm impressed that somehow Sakura lives with this man.
Oh,
this
yeah.
being.
Yeah, she sure does. He literally goes on all fours to get on top of Tozakarin like a lizard.
Okay, I cannot even say that he's biped. Biped?
Yeah, he's a quadruped at this point.
Yeah, by that point, he's a Homo sapien.
Yes, he's an Australopithecus. He's a man.
He's not a Homo erectus. He's not a Homo habilis. He's not a Homo sapiens. He's a Homo only.
He's a Homo. He sure is.
Man, I think he's just like a monkey.
He's a Homo
本当にバカじゃない
Shinjus.
のあん
I
た
think this is.
Homo Shinjus. Then,
I think I would be soon to a monkey if I call.
even while she's tied up and being licked on her cheek by the boy, Tozakarin
Oh,
speaks up.
wonderful. Just
ま
a
だ
thing.
懲りないのかって言
He's
ってるの
literally
よ
he's licking her like a
あん
dog.
たは綺麗にいいように使われてただ
Thank
け
you
でし
for
ょ
that image, Shinji. I really wanted that
あの
image
サー
in
バ
my
ントは
head.
扱いきれるものじゃないそんなこと近くにいるんだからあんただって分かってるでしょ
I love how she just doesn't care.
こんな殺し合いから手を
Shinji
引
is
けって
trying to do this fucking Hannibal Lecter rapist bullshit, and she's like, "Man, listen, you look like a fucking retard. Get out of here now, or you're gonna die, dude. Stop humiliating
I'm
yourself."
impressed. She's not even wanting to touch on him. She's not even wanting to fight. She's just, hey, you stupid boy, go away. Run.
The thing is, he's like doing all this creepy ass bullshit, thinking he's super smart, but really, he's fucking dumb. Like he's setting himself up to die. This is the stupidest thing he could ever do. He's actually like doing this in an active war zone.
今ならまだ間に合うのはそっちの方よ死にた
I
くな
have
かった
many questions how Shinji
1
is
秒で
still
も早く
alive.
ここから逃げ出しなさい
I don't know how Shinji is alive in general. Like
you know
he
what
seems to me like the kind of guy that gets mugged in the street and
what
tells
went through
the
my
robber,
head?
"Yeah,
You know-
man, come at me, bro. I can totally
what went through my
body
head?
you, man."
No,
My
I
mind
just
thought of something insane. My mind is imagining a scene, a sequence of events where Shinji puts down his pants trying to just fill up go at Tosaka. Tosaka kicks him away, and then Gilgamesh enters the room to see that image, that cursed image of Shinji naked from the waist down, just saying, "Gilgamesh, kill her," something like that.
This is kind of what happens in the anime, actually.
And meanwhile, the dead bodies of Kotomine Kire and the
And the dust left behind Lancer, I guess. I mean, Lancer's
Yes.
still here. He hasn't
They-
vaporized yet.
yes, the what? No, the
何を言い出すかと
disappearing body of
思えば
Lancer.
結局は命乞いじゃんかバカはお前だよ遠坂
Shinji, please shut the
琴峰は死んだんだ
fuck up.
ぜ
baby.
Mato Shinji
He's a-
runs his
he's a
fingers
homo-
along the. This is. I know we're laughing at this, but this is fucking horrifying, right? Like Jesus Christ.
I'm nearly laughing at this because I have no I have no faith that Shinji can actually do this. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Shinji totally can. He just like he's entirely missing the point by even trying.
No, because I'm pretty sure if Tosaka wants, just kicks him in the balls and lets him go screaming away.
She could probably like actually tear his face out if he gets it any closer.
Yes, I'm not even for a second in fear for Tosaka, because Tosaka can handle herself against this Homo Shinjus.
At that instant,
Hey,
おい
I just want to say one thing. Shinji argued against Kotomine and against Gilgamesh, and he's still alive.
I know.
Just
That's how little they think of him. He's like, you know what? It's like when a fly like flies by your ear. You're like, fuck, this is annoying. I'm not gonna kill it though.
No.
That was the point.
But sometimes Kotomine and Gilgamesh kill just for that.
True. But he's less than that, you know?
Wait a minute. I really want to see this. I really want to watch a scene of Shinji just being annoying from around Gilgamesh, and he just goes, "Hey, shield," and he just does a little flicker, and Shinji goes flying and breaks.
That actually
something
does
like that.
happen. That actually does happen in the anime. Like Gilgamesh sends Shinji flying across the mansion.
No, not even a punch, just a flicker, just a shoo, and then bang.
But the point is, Shinji miscalculated once again as his hands come off Tosaka's body and go to his zipper.
No. Don't give him too much credit. To say he miscalculated implies that he calculated in the first place.
That is true. But as his hands, his grubby, disgusting Dorito-filled neckbeard hands,
So, it's
leave
not a
Tosaka's
hand.
body.
It's
And,
not a hand. That is a body part.
as he motions to
I'm
initiate
pretty
the
sure-
act,
I'm
he just
pretty
gets
sure
fucking.
He doesn't have I'm pretty sure he doesn't have an opposing thumb anymore. He's just 5
I just
perfusions.
anyway, I just love this scene. Super dramatic, and Shinji thinks he's winning, and then Lancer just goes, "Hey man," and punches him to the other side of the fucking world. Mato Shinji is punched away once again,
Yeah.
and he is flung to the wall.
ガキがそいつはてめえなんかが触れていい
And then he just drops it like it's hot.
I really want to see the image of Shinji just
Oh,
flying through the window, leaving a you know the
Man, Lancer isn't even fully alive anymore, and he can still punch Shinji across the room.
in Looney Tunes animations when the coyote just runs through a wall and there's a little hole of him in the stone. I really want to see that happening to Shinji with the wall or the window. There's just a hole of Shinji. While he
Shinji is
flies
shaped
away.
hole. Nice.
何死に損ないの分際で僕に意見しようっていうの
Wait, let me just check something. Okay. The spearman stops. He now turns to Mato Shinji.
おとなしく寝ていれば
Man,
苦
shut
しまず
the
に死ねたっ
fuck
てのに
up.
な
Shinji is so annoying, dude.
Shinji,
Fuck.
you are no Kotomina
Naku ni wa
Kire. You
korosanai
cannot
kara.
say that I will not kill you so easily. But you can't kill
ほ
Shiro.
ら出
Shiro.
番だぜギルガメッシュ
Shiro.
こいつカッコつけて死にたいんだってさ
Oh, he's trying so hard.
He
He raises his voice. Mato Shinji servant,
Wait
the
a
one
minute,
that can
wait a
kill.
minute. Wait a minute. No, Zevlen, wait a second. Go back, please. I won't kill you so easily. Come on, Gilgamesh.
Yeah, he's
I like that.
Yeah.
I will kill you. I
Yeah.
won't kill you. Hey, Gilgamesh, kill him.
Mato Shinji's servant, the one who can kill any heroic spirit, is summoned by his master and,
おい
Killed.
なんだよ何やってんだよあいつ
so
聞こえない
pathetic.
のか早く来いって言ってるだろ
This is so sad. Like, actually,
I like
I
to
know
imagine.
Shinji is
I
like a
like to
disgusting
imagine.
human that thinks that.
I really like to imagine that Shinji just is seeing all of that with a hand on his
No, yeah, like
casually trying to be stylish.
I love the way that the scene is framed because like Shinji's a disgusting person who sexually assaults women when he thinks they don't want him. Like his way to cope with the fact that he doesn't have power or dignity is to defile innocent women. But at the same time, in this scene, it's just so fucking pathetic. Like he can't do anything. He can't command his servant. He doesn't command any respect from the guy that was bossing him around. He can't win against Tosaka, and he can't even get her to be afraid for her life while he's actively attempting to assault her.
Yes.
And he's so pathetic.
He's even pathetic for an abuser.
This is awful.
He's pathetic.
Oh my.
Don't be
He's
Shinji,
like
kids. Don't be Shinji.
He's like a 7-year-old. He's like a 7-year-old in the middle of a gang war, or better, a gang negotiation. No one is even considering his presence at the moment.
Yeah, man.
He's just being ignored in different styles.
His voice sheepishly echoes through the room. The golden servant does not appear. The spearman, covered in blood, takes another step towards the annoying boy.
なんだよお前死に損ないのくせに何かっこつけてんだよ消えろよ目障りだってわかんないのかよこの化け物
The lance is thrust.
God damn it, he threw the lance.
The quick thrust pierces Mato Shinji through his right shoulder. This is so sad, dude. His scream tears through he can't even like take a hit. He wasn't even killed. It was just a hit. He can't even have any dignity.
No, please,
getting skewered.
He's dead.
No, he's definitely going to die, but he isn't like instantaneously dead.
No.
You know?
Oh yeah, but goddamn it, man, being pierced through your heart is not exactly a casual thing to happen. I guess Shiro would be having this kind of casual reaction, but Shinji is...
Yeah, but he isn't even dignified. Like, he gets pierced in his shoulder, and he's like, oh my god!
But he's normal Shinji. What were you expecting him to be? A normal person? His
scream tears through the room. Lancer pulls out the lance with an almost bored expression and points it at Shinji's temple.
死に損ないでもな。お前程度なら1000人殺したところで支障はない。
Ain't lying.
Please know the amount of trash talk before dying would be insufferable.
And he's gone. Retreating to the wall and shivering, Mato Shinji runs away.
Wait a minute, how? How?
He was allowed to. The Lancer told him to go.
How was Mato Shinji capable of running away with a hole on his chest?
It wasn't on his chest, man. It was on his shoulder. It wasn't even like, yeah, it wasn't like a fatal thing. It was just like a shoulder strike.
God damn! I was expecting to be a Gearbolgan. No, he just threw the lance.
No, he isn't putting any effort into this at all. He just wants Shinji to be gone.
It's like he said catch, and the spear casually went through Shinji's shoulder.
Pretty much. Letting out a big sigh, he walks over to the girl. The lance cuts away at her bonds like paper. She thanks him as soon as she's freed. Unmindful of the dirt that covers her, she bows to Lancer. Props to Lancer for being the biggest traitor in the history of betrayal. But for a good cause, though.
I would say he's a total bro, man. This man deserves.
Oh, he's absolutely like the best. He's such a cool guy. Lancer is the best.
We are 2 for 2 with him becoming good at the end and dying
heroic
death.
Living up to his name as a hero.
Yeah.
At that instant, he falls.
Out of all the heroic spirits in here, he's probably the only one that doesn't have any BS of I want to kill myself like Saber, or I am
I want to kill myself like Archer.
Yes, yeah.
Or I want to kill everybody like
He's the
Caster.
only heroic spirit. He's the only heroic spirit in here that seems to be actually heroic.
The fun thing about Lancer is he gets even better in Hollow Ataraxia. Lancer is the best in FAJ.
By the way, am I?
Oh, the build
Is,
doesn't
probably,
have
is my statement probably wrong because of Ryder, or Ryder is more morally gray?
No, Ryder is a pretty good person. She's a little complicated, but not in a bad way.
She is the Lancer that dies early every single time.
Well, we'll see more about Ryder next route, but really where she gets to shine a lot in character terms is Hollow.
She gets to die second and not first.
She's actually pretty important for Heaven's Feel. So we're gonna have a fun time with Ryder. I really do like her.
That makes me fear, because that probably means that Shinji will be around a lot in Hollow Attack in Heaven's Feel.
Well, we'll see. I won't spoil it. I really want to keep Heaven's Feel sealed away because it's so unique.
Wait a minute. Is Shinji going to be more focused more in Heaven's Feel?
No comment. She tries to catch him. I will promise you that Shinji gets punched, and it's amazing.
By who?
We'll not disclose that. She tries to catch him, but he does not make it. Lancer, who was leaning against a wall, crumples onto the ground. His legs won't move, and his limbs are already dead. The fact that he's still got up, killed his master, and freed her is unbelievable.
I like that it doesn't even consider Shinji, because Shinji is just nothing.
Gushing blood stains his blue armor red.
待ってて、すぐに傷を塞ぐから。
Rin runs to the bloody spearman, but Lancer stops her by raising his hand.
無駄だ。俺のゲイボルクで破壊された心臓は。
She knows this very well, right? She had to use 10 years worth of magical energy to save Shiro.
Yeah, I guess she was capable of healing Shiro.
But that was a one-time thing, right? Like with a ludicrous amount of power.
Oh yeah, with power gifted from her father.
Kotomina saved Shiro's life, guys. I just want to leave this in the open. Kotomina allowed her to keep this trinket, so he indirectly saved Shiro's life.
Yeah, I guess.
大体な、そんな余分なマルカ残ってねえだろお前。
けどそれじゃ。
まあ気にするな。こういうのには慣れてる。英雄ってのはな。
True.
いつだって理不尽な命令で
Though
死
in
ぬ
this
ものなんだ。
in his case, he gave himself the unreasonable order. So that's fun.
Ironic.
Yeah. Actually, man, Lancer lived such a fucking shitty life. He ended up killing his son randomly, like just one of those bizarre tragedies of life. And then he died the worst way possible, fighting the man that was his closest friend to death. Fucking sucks, man. His casual talk is like always. The blue spearman does not change his tone, even on the verge of his death. The girl stands there, speechless. Looking up at her, Lancer sighs as if the weight of the world is lifted off his shoulder.
いや、お互いつまんねえ相棒を引いちまったな。
そうね。けど、私のはつまんないっていうより、扱いづらいだけだったかな。
違いない。お前のような女が相棒だったら言うことはなかったんだが。
Very true.
あいにく昔から
Okay,
いい
can you
女とは
elaborate
縁
on
がな
that,
くてな。
Zevlen?
I would spend a long time explaining Lancer's life, but all the women he met were either the sources of very bad shit, i.e., one of them having a kid with him that he was later forced to kill, and the other one being his master.
Please. Zevlen, please, don't say that a very bad thing, i.e., having a son.
No, having a son wasn't the bad part. It was the eventually getting him cursed to kill his son part that was bad.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
He couldn't be with her for whatever reason. I don't remember why. So they just had the kid, and he was gone before the kid was born, and when they met each other, it was in the battlefield. Something to that regard. But it was a curse that was in place on him. And the other one was his crazy, wild hermit master that was also probably a demigod. And she was a wild one. Well, she was a wild one for sure. And the other one was Queen Maeve, which was his mortal enemy, a terrible witch that got him to fight his best friend. So yeah, not very many good women in Lancer's life.
まったくこればっかりは何度繰り返しても治らない。
Irene was probably the best woman he ever met. So that's something. He laughs in self-derision. Then,
さあ早く行け。こいつは俺が
oh,
連れて
Lancer's
行く。
gonna take care of the body, all right.
お前はお前の相棒のところに戻らないと。
He learned that
Wait,
lesson.
how exact? Wait a minute. Oh, I get it. Wait, what would Kataminakiri actually do in the situation if he was left unchecked?
Well, we don't know. He did all this shit last time, so.
Yeah, fair enough.
The
By the way,
spear.
that is a very anticlimactic way to kill who is effectively the big bad of this story.
Actually, it's pretty climactic. Like the moment that it happens, it's like it's pretty brutal. It's just that we were like laughing all the way through, so it wasn't as shocking.
Yes, it feels like an
If there was
anticlimax
to
we are killing him in a random room, in a random part of the deserted
True.
mansion of the dead.
We did manage to stop his master plan though, by exploiting his hubris. The fucking loser. The spearman in blue urges the girl. Lancer is holding the Ansu's rune. The rune containing his remaining magical energy will burn this room to ashes. Understanding his determination, the girl turns her back to Lancer.
さよならランサー。短い間だったけど、私もあなたみたいな人は好きよ。
She runs to the entrance hall.
小娘がもうちょっと年取って出直してこい。
Man, Lancer is a real one.
This man,
I love this
this
man.
man,
I love this man.
this man,
He sounds
this
happy.
man.
The room erupts in flames. The blaze burns Lancer's body away and his master's corpse. Without leaving a trace, the red lance and his blue armor disappear in the flames like empty illusions. What a way to go. Poor
In
guy.
a blaze of glory.
At least he
In a blaze of glory.
was able to be a hero again, right? Better than this loser. The same
Meanwhile-
swords, the same techniques clash. My attack and his attacks are the same, but still the blades chip away and my body is wounded the more we fight.
Wait a minute. Meanwhile, in the fight club,
Oh yeah. The attack that I
Oh.
blocked breaks through. Kansho in my left hand is destroyed by his Kansho and his weapon sweeps at me from the side. I twist my body to dodge it, but it still slashes at me. Although not immediately fatal, the wound will eventually overcome me. I bear the pain by cursing and swing Bakuya at the close enemy. It's blocked and destroyed as well. We have the same swords and the same techniques, but there is a gap that I cannot fill. The gap of experience.
how many years? How many years
power.
exactly?
お前はまだまだ基本コス
How
トの想
many
定
years
が甘い
exactly separe Archer and Shiro?
I don't know. I mean, Archer, is probably at least 20 years older than Shiro, I would assume.
God damn. Shiro,
Just 20.
Shiro
Are you
is
sure
not
about
doing
that?
so bad.
Archer doesn't
Shiro's
strike me
not
as a
doing so
40-year-old. He died young. He was betrayed. He didn't die of old age. I don't know.
I think Archer has hundreds of.
材質
Okay.
を保とう
Well, he has as a guardian, but at that point it doesn't.
イメージといえど筋が
Oh,
通って
okay.
なければ
Oh, that is true. I mean,
No,
he
wait a
has
minute.
lived
Zevlen,
through
Zevlen.
hundreds of conflicts, but he
I-
died at a
I
young
cannot
age.
believe that a 40-year-old would have those abs. No.
No, yeah.
He's 30 something. He's
At
30
least
something.
assuming that he didn't become long-lived as a result of his contract, which he might have. He probably died somewhere after his 30s. Even though he has lived through many conflicts as a guardian before he died. Even if you get the... Oh, he said that. My temple in my side. He attacks both my vital spots at once. I immediately project the twin swords and parry the attacks. My head hurts to the point of blurring my sight. It's not because of the strain of immediate projection. This is that headache. The instinct I felt when I was searching for Tosaka. The slight fever I got every time I faced him. That strain now threatens to drive me mad. I parry his attacks. I step in and slash at his body. The red headache burns my eyes every time I do so. Is it because of the contradiction that Emiya and heroic spirit Emiya are existing at the same time? Ever since we recognized each other's identity, my body breaks every time we touch each other. I traced his sword technique and even his reproduction ability. It's natural for them to suit me. His abilities are Emiya optimal technique perfected over many years of training. There's no way it would not suit me. In trying to match his skill, I allowed myself to learn too much about my future self. So every time they get into contact, he absorbs a little bit of Archer. But that comes at the detriment of dying.
I can even imagine if part of their hatred is just a natural reaction to both want to eliminate this paradox until only one of them remains.
It does seem like the kind of thing the world would do.
There is a theory that it is about... Oh, I forgot this. Saints Gates talks about this.
Yeah.
That when two persons they are the same and they start interact with each other, their growth is absolute. Like, I don't remember.
What?
I don't remember. I can explain right, but basically, why Shiro is growing so fast is because of Archer.
Yeah, exactly. Archer, every time he explained it more or less. His close proximity to Archer and the concentratedness of the paradox means that he's absorbing things about himself in the future. He's learning about himself.
Imagine.
So he's completing his goals early.
What I imagine right now is that it's like putting two equal sides of batteries next to each other. They're going to gain energy just to get away. And when they become stronger and stronger.
Something like that. He is able to absorb the experience he is going to get. And the contradiction of gaining his future skills is killing him. Because it's a paradox.
Yeah.
So what is Archer having in...
Years, yeah, like in a minute.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So what is action? Okay.
My eyeballs go numb. Every time I swing the sword, every time the sparks fly out, I'm attacked with a flash so strong that it could blind me. He's probably having something similar because he hasn't killed Shido yet. I'm no match for him, and my vision fills with red every time we exchange blows. If that's the worst of it, I don't care. My body's already torn apart. My headache is nothing compared to the burning wound in my stomach. The problem is that the headache won't stop because there's something I'm still drawing out from him.
都合5本目だな。投影による複製ではそろそろ限界か。お前の魔力量はよくわかっている。そのざまでは残り3本。わざわざあれを見せてやったというのに、未だそんな勘違いをしているとはな。
His scornful voice contained some disappointment. Misunderstand? I don't care about that. More than anything, I have to do something about this headache right now. The thing flowing from you.
ともあれ、至ったところで不可能ではあるか。今のエミヤ四郎が生成できる魔力では足りない。そう。どちらにせよ。
My headache gets worse. He raises his twin swords to finish the match.
貴様に賞賛など一部たりともなかったということだ。
He swings them down in a cross. The swords I blocked... What? The swords I blocked them with are destroyed. My body becomes numb as if a hammer had been smashed on it, and the headache finally sears my brain as well as my eyes. It's flowing into me. So, this is scarier than the pain. This is his memory. The reason he changed so much. I can see bits and pieces of what will happen to Emiya in the future. I don't know if it was correct or not. Nobody will be able to determine that. The beautiful things were ugly and the ugly things were beautiful. There is nothing disgusting once you look at it objectively. So why is there such a deviation? Sophistry, falsehood, trickery, vanity, those are what he saw the most.
I am the bone of my soul.
But still, it seems he did not care. There was an ideal and an oath he had to protect. He did not care what he lost to do so. Even when he was betrayed, he believed there would be a next time if he did not betray himself. He did not show grief or pain.
Steel is my body, and fire is my blood.
He is like a cold-blooded machine to others. He was a convenient existence, so he was conveniently used. He was only a tool in other people's eyes, but the machine had an ideal it wanted to protect, so it accepted its role as a convenient tool.
I have created over 1,000 blades, unknown to death, and unknown to life.
It's not something to grow around proclaiming. The more he kills and the more he is unable to save, the less he can talk about his ideal. The only thing left for him is to obstinately protect his ideal until the very end. And the result, the ideal Emiya dreamed of has never been accomplished, and he found out that it's just nonsense, dreamed by a fool who is only a nuisance to others.
Hell withstood pain to create many weapons.
See, this is his end. See, this is your end. My mind gives in. I won't feel compassion. I won't feel compassion. I won't feel it, but my mind almost gives in, thinking that I will be following this exact same path.
Those hands will never hold anything.
What you believed in, what you believe in, you are shown that it's just a fantasy that is covered with lies, and still... His weapon closes in. A horn-like sword comes to pierce my heart. I get away. I have in my hands the twin swords I quickly projected. Those hands will never hold anything, huh? I forced down my nausea. What was I seeing? Forget it. Forget what you just saw. You need to defeat him. You should focus everything on that goal.
計算違い前世の自分を考慮憑依させることでかつての技術を習得する魔術があると聞くが俺と打ち合うたびにお前の技術は鍛えられていくようだな
Oh, here is an explanation.
Yeah. My shoulders heaving, I prepare myself for the
とな
attack.
ると引き出したものは投影技術だけではあるまいその顔今にも吐きそうな最低の面構えからすると
My breathing stops. Don't let me say it. Don't let me recall it. If you say what I just saw,
ならば話は早いそれは全て事実だ
the truth kinda sucks, man.
Yeah.
His red cloak
Good eye.
moves.
Can someone elaborate what exactly happened to Archer?
I mean,
Oh, this.
we saw
wait,
it, and
wait.
he explained it. He was used
but
as a tool of war to settle injustices that never stopped happening. And then when he stopped
Yeah, by
being
who?
useful, by the people that do war. First, he started out probably as some sort of vigilante. And then eventually his powers grew so large that he started being used to solve the world's problems. Problems like war and hunger. Except those problems aren't fixed. You can't fix them. You can just be used by one of the sides and then they decide that that's good one way or the other. And by the time he figured that this was what was happening and that he wasn't saving anybody, it was too late. And he proved himself, he said to the world that he wasn't going to do it anymore. He stopped being useful, so they betrayed him. And he got executed. Thrown away like
What
a useless
doesn't
tool.
exactly enter my head is the hows of this equation.
Well, the hows aren't important. The point is that his ideal led him to failure, or at least his
I get it.
unpreparedness to live out the complicated parts of his ideals.
At the end of the day, he was never truly doing it. He was just
Well, he had a romantic idea.
His ideal is a false ideal of what exactly is heroism.
Well, he was, at the end of the day, the problem was that he wasn't ready to suffer for his cause. He had this romantic idea that if he just tried to save everybody, he could be rewarded in the end.
I argue that he was capable of suffering. I argue that he didn't know how to go about saving people.
No, the point that the point that we came to in the last episode was this: his ideal in itself isn't a bad one. Wanting to help and save others isn't a problem. The problem was that when you commit to doing it, you need to also be able to commit to the fact that you're going to have to deal with problems way bigger than you are, and that they're going to have bad consequences. One of them being the fact that you're not going to get rewarded for your efforts and might even end up like this, betrayed.
No, and not only that, you're never truly going to be able to do what you set out to do.
He engaged with his ideal from a romanticized kind of childlike naivety, thinking that he would be rewarded in the end.
Not only a romanticized version, I'm pretty sure from the description that I heard that he didn't even try to truly help people in the sense of, like, how can I describe it? He just went around killing the bad guys, per se.
Well, it started out with him trying to help people, but then eventually, as he became more important, that turned into killing the bad guys.
Helping how? He was building schools. Was he training people to go protect others?
Well, he was doing probably fighting evil guys to try to save good guys. That's the problem, isn't it? Because at some point it turns into we have to fight this war to save innocents from dying, but then we're just killing people.
It feels like he was just a big punisher all his life.
Yeah.
Always killing somebody, always killing the bad guy. That is the main problem. He was never truly building anything. He was never going anywhere. He was just a killing
At the
machine.
end of the day, he became a Kiritsugu.
Yes.
But without the world wariness, without that last thing that showed up in Kiritsugu's head after he lost everything he had, that what he did was useless and that it wasn't really helping anybody. Right? But the problem is that he got killed, and the problem was he didn't really try to maturely look at the ideals he had. He didn't try to reevaluate what he was doing. He didn't even accept the fact that his choice to do this came with these consequences, which if you had good common sense, you could predict. He got resentful that he was betrayed, but this is what happens when you start picking sides.
He just decided even to going at it even after his death. And when he resurrected, he realized, wait a minute, I'm stupid.
This is actually a fun connection to Gundam. I need to bring it up. That one of the main primary theses of Gundam is that you can't change the world for the better if you try to force your idea of the world, of the better world, with violence onto the world. Right? You can have the most beautiful utopian ideals of society, but if you impose those ideals with force on people, it is just going to lead to further conflict. The only way for things to get solved, for suffering to end, is if humanity as a whole changes towards a more cooperative style of treating each other and understanding each other. Archer wanted to make a better world. I don't doubt that. He really did, right? We know Shido, that's what he really wants. But his methods are just wrong, and they would eventually lead to this.
I think he has the ideal, but at the end of the day, I even argued that before. He's not trying to make the world better because he even truly has this utopian ideal. It's because he doesn't want to see people. It's because he wants to get away the furthest that he can from the trauma that he suffered at the.
It's just a skewed idea. It's a skewed idea that's executed in a poor way. And at the end of the day,
it's pretty much a reaction to his trauma. He's still trying to run away from his trauma, and with that he creates this idea.
Really, at the end of the day, Archer is a classical extremist. He dichotomizes the world, and instead of trying to make the world better, he just persecutes those that he understands as making the world worse, which is destructive, self-destructive, and outwardly destructive. right?
And the only reason why he even tries to become this radical is because of his trauma. It's because he wants to run away.
Which is a
from
thing
this
that
place.
inadvertently he inverted in this incarnation of Shiro, that actually had the time and the maturity to analyze what he believes and actually come to the conclusion that he wants to do that instead of just like doing all this weird shit unprepared and just
Out
riding
of
the
reaction.
tide. Yeah. But
Out of fear in the end.
he closes
He
in on
becomes a
me
hero out of fear. How interesting.
and in an instant thrusts the horned sword.
How interesting. Arthur became a hero out of fear.
Yep. It's destroyed in one blow. There's no way a hastily constructed sword in a first attempt at that would match his sword. And it's funny that he literally did become a hero because of fear. Because he didn't become a hero by his own merit. He had to give away his freedom to the world in exchange for power. It wasn't even him that was doing any of the killing, right? It was him, but with the world's blessing. It's very interesting. But even though I'm empty-handed, he throws away his sword. He projects Durandal, the renowned sword of the king. I skip about 4 steps and quickly reproduce his weapon. But of course, such an imitation is destroyed in one blow. I fall. Are we fucked, guys? I'm repelled, and I land with my back on the rubble. That surprises me. The rubble turns red just by having me fall on top of it.
And as usual, Shiro is going in a near-death experience again.
Oh, I already know, but it seems my body is almost dead, outside and inside.
Again.
そこまでだ。
This is it?
叶わないと知ってなおここに現れる愚かさ。
Never should have come
生
here.
涯くだらぬ理想にとらわれ、自らの意志を持たなかったまがいもの。それが自身の正体だと理解したか。
His voice echoes. My body is covered with wounds. It's bad how the wounds are so deep that I can reach inside them and take out my bones.
そんなものに生きている価値はない。何よりこの俺が確信しているのだ。エミやシロという男の人生に価値などない。ただ救いたいから救うなど。そもそも感情として間違えている。
All these things Archer isn't saying to Shiro, he's saying to himself. You can I had my reservations about Archer's voice acting, but I think it's very clear in the way that he pronounces these sentences that he's actually talking to himself, right? He's like self-deprecating to hell and back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My magical energy is almost depleted. Not only that, the magic circuit to run the magical energy is burned up. No, if I talk about burning up, it burned up yesterday when I used projection. It's just that an almost broken thing completely broke. But my body is telling me I can still fight. My mind bluffs itself, saying it hasn't given in yet. Then I have to get up and defeat him.
無駄なこと。俺はお前の理想だ。叶うはずなどないと。 今ので理解できたはずだが。
I find it interesting. I am your ideal. Not only because he is the creation of Shiro's ideal of heroism, but because he is what Shiro, not even in his guardian, even if he's in his vigilante future self, he'll be capable of becoming. He is
the shadow of a terrible future, right?
Yeah, he is not the shadow. He is the superpowered version he's a superpowered version of that Shiro, powered by the earth.
Yep.
He's not only the ideal. He's not only the fruit of the ideal. He is the ideal Shiro. He's the
ideal.
Powerful. Yeah, he's the super powerful Shiro. He's the most powerful Shiro could ever become.
To quote Shiro himself, he's the superhero, right? Literally.
Yeah.
He's the superhero.
Yes.
Has the power.
I focused the last of my will on the magic circuit. Man, this season of Boku no Hero is really wild. My split nerves scream, but if I carefully put together the 8 steps, I project his twin swords, Kansho and Bakuya, the 2 great swords named after an ancient swordsmith. I swing them, keep attacking until my remaining energy runs out. Wait 1 second, I'm gonna pause. My twin swords are met by twin swords. Man, I really hope the F-Bates cut comes out soon, because this prose, man, fuck. Oh my god.
This sounds like... Is this just bad writing, or is that
No,
moment
this is
people
bad
die when they are killed?
No, this is bad translation. Nasu's prose is pretty well regarded by pretty much everybody that reads it. It's just the translators didn't know how to write good. Like, they knew how to translate pretty okay, but they weren't the best writers, and they didn't have an editing team that was very competent, which I'm not like sidelighting them for.
They were good writers or they were good translators or writers.
F-Bates is a professional who's been doing it for a long time, and he reads a lot, so his prose is much better. He doesn't have the prose that Mugi had in Muramasa's translation, which is fucking sublime, but he's very good, much better than this. Like, no comparison. But anyway, Archer now holds Kansho and Bakuya and parries my attacks without retreating.
そうか。認めるわけにはいかないのは道理だな。俺がお前の理想である限り、エミヤ四郎は誰よりも俺を否定しなければならない。
His calm tone pisses me off. I can't even breathe, but he is calm and composed. I attack with all my energy. He does not parry my attacks, but pushes them back. I'm pushed back along with my twin swords. The difference in our powers is obvious. There's no way for me to win with pure strength.
では聞くがな、シロ。お前は本当に正義の味方になりたいと思っているのか?
For an instant, my mind blanks out from the surprise attack.
何を今さら俺はなりたいんじゃなくて絶対になるんだよ
I glare back at him. Man, Shido's voice actor is putting in the work, dude. Then
絶対にならなければならない。なぜならそれはエミヤ四郎にとってただ一つの感情だからだ。たとえそれが自身の内から現れたものでないとしても。
he stops me with words that grab my heart. Not born from within me, I deny them even before I think about what those words mean. I can't let him finish. I can't realize that fact. If I find out, Emiya Shido's foundation will crumble.
その様子ではうすうす感づいてはいたようだな。いや、初めから気づいていて、それを必死に遠ざけていただけだったので。
I start to say before I stop myself. I don't want to know. I know that I shouldn't know, but still I know that I must know. The contradiction of Emiya Shido, the answer to what is wrong with me and how I am distorted.
俺にはもはやお前の記憶などない。だが、それでもあの光景だけは覚えている。一面の炎と充満した死の匂い。絶望の中で助けを乞い、叶えられた時の感情。エミヤキ。
I realized that it is natural to die and my mind emptied out. I was saved at that time. The man who saved me smiled with tears in his eyes. That is what I thought was beautiful.
そうだ。お前はただ一人助けられたことで、助けられなかった人々に後ろめたさを感じていたわけじゃない。ただ、エミヤキリツグに憧れただけだ。あの男のお前を助けた顔があまりにも幸せそうだったから。
That's right. It's not me that got saved at that time. It's an assumption I did not even think about. If it was that fire that if that fire was Kiritsugu's fault, he shouldn't have been able to bear that fact. A tragedy without any survivors. Kiritsugu, the one who caused it, must have frantically searched for a survivor, and he finally found one that should not have existed. The man found a surviving child that could not be saved. If you talk about miracles, it is.
By the way, wait. Wasn't Kotomine the one that caused the fire?
Well, this was... Remember that Kotomine spun the lie that Kiritsugu was the one who did it. This is the narrative that gets passed down to Shiro. We only found out that that Kirei was the one that actually did it last time after that prying session.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, when he was twisting the knife. But I knew about that already. I don't care about his circumstances. It was enough for me that he got me out of the hell. Even if it may have been for myself, it's true that he tried to save me and wished for my survival. That's enough. Emiya Kiritsugu saved a boy who had nothing. So...
子が親に憧れるのは当然だ。だが、お前はそれが行き過ぎた。エミヤ・キリツグ。エミヤ・キリツグがなりたかったものに憧れるだけならよかった。
His savior at his most traumatic event, at his most traumatic part of his life, and decided to copy it.
Yeah, it's kind of telling that the way that he phrases that. It's not. I was not the one that was saved. He has been seeking to. Really, he hasn't been saved yet. He thinks he will only find closure when he becomes Kiritsugu towards everybody.
Yes, because if it's effectively because he's not being he was not saved that he thinks that becoming Kiritsugu at that moment he will save himself by becoming that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I put that correctly in a grammatical sense, but
I mean,
that's pretty much.
Yeah.
Shiro wants to become a hero because it's his coping mechanism to deal with that fact.
And now he has the ability to change that, right? He's being confronted, just like last time.
Again, Archer is a hero born out of fear.
Out of fear, exactly.
Out of running away from a trauma.
But just like last time, he's confronted.
How may I add? There is a horrible foundation for a hero.
Oh, definitely.
I would argue that's why above all, Archer went the way he did, because he was never being a hero to truly be. He was never truly
truly committed to the saving of others. He was committed to the saving of himself.
He was never altruistic to others. He was effectively trying to use a coping mechanism.
He was a fool
by fighting crime.
Yeah, he was a fool, essentially.
Yes, it's like the worst version of Batman.
Kinda, yeah. But now, just like last time in the Fate route, Shiro is being given an opportunity to face this part of his life head on and make a decision as to whether he's going to follow in the pathetic steps of a broken man or come out on top. And we'll see what happens.
だが最後に奴はお前に呪いを残した。言うまでもないだろう。それがお前の全てだと言ってもいい。
じいさんの夢は俺。
That's the answer. Hearing my casual remark, he left the words "I'm relieved" behind him. And then that man, who was emptier even than me, died. At that moment, Emiya Shiro had to become a superhero. My will does not matter. For his sake, I simply tried to become what he had admired since he was small. The wish for everyone to be happy is an impossibility dreamed not by me but by Emiya Kiritsugu.
That, by the way, is like a very ironic dream.
Oh, yeah.
The assassin that dreams of becoming a superhero.
Yeah.
It's like if Deathstroke wanted to be Batman. That feels like a big joke.
I mean, that's why when Kiritsugu realized that, that's why he stopped following the dream. That's why he tried to keep Emiya away from magic and from any sort of insanity like this, right? Because he knew it was ultimately a self-destructive thing. At least it was for him. The kind of man that he was.
wait a minute. So, to a certain degree, is Emiya Kiritsugu effectively a better archer? An archer that is
Well, he
more
wasn't a better
self-conscious,
archer. He was just he was an archer that was given the possibility of analyzing his actions, and what he came to find when the fire happened.
So a better archer, an archer that has
That was able to mellow out and stop. He wasn't. I mean, you can believe in repentance or not, but he certainly didn't. The people he killed, he didn't pay back for their death, but he did make the rest of his life worthwhile. Right?
yes. He he seek the redemption.
So, so it was. He did improve, but Shido didn't have that wisdom. And sadly, the last thing that he had from his father was this curse. Really, this mission that's impossible.
And again, Kiritsugu never, from what I get, learned how to. He understood how to understand himself and how to interact with himself. He never knew how to talk with other people. Goddammit, Saber still hated him by the time she met Shido.
I mean, Kiritsugu only became like a mostly normal person after the war was done, when he started traveling the world and.
But even then,
he didn't.
I'm thinking of something. He was effectively a projection of both of his quote unquote children. After the war, Taiga saw him like a little bit of a saint, a standard that she needed to be, and in the aspect of responsibility. And to Shiro, he was effectively the projection of the hero I need to become to get away from my trauma.
It's such a shame that Kiritsugu had to die.
Yeah, but Kiritsugu never truly passed his own.
Yeah, that was stolen from him.
Discovery.
Right? He knew that's probably why he spent so much of his life.
He never shared his realizations with Taiga and Shiro. He was never capable of teaching them the lessons.
He wasn't able to convey it to them, even if he tried.
Yes, he only became what Taiga and Shiro wanted him to become. He never was capable of passing what he saw of himself to them both.
I think part of that is because he knew he was going to die, right? That's probably why he spent the last years of his life traveling the world and stuff. Because he knew the curse was going to come for him. He knew when he was going to die. That's why he was sitting there looking at the moon, right?
I could even guess that it's probably because of him himself, Kiritsugu. A man that pretty much was like Archer, just doing things because he was thinking that would be the correct thing to do.
Yeah.
He was never truly communicating. He was interacting with himself. Again, even when Saber interacted with him, she just projected him like the person she saw him as.
Yeah.
And only by looking through Shiro's eyes did she realize, wait a minute, he was not like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
He wasn't.
And then,
just like Archer is a closed man that doesn't allow anyone to like get deep into his inner workings somehow. Archer and Kiritsugu are similar in many ways, but he doesn't have the maturity or the age to have the self-reflection.
And then effectively becomes whatever the person looking at him wants him to be. To Rin, he is the cool but jerk type dude. And to Shiro, he's just an ugly image he does not want to be remembered at all.
Actually, this is one of the big tragedies of Archer, is that much like Kiritsugu, he lost everything after taking the wrong path in life. But differently from Kiritsugu, he's now stuck in a state where he can never learn to be better. So he will never be able to save himself the way that Kiritsugu did. Which is just the worst. He can't save anyone, or at least he thinks he can't. And he can't save himself either.
エミヤ切り継ぐという男がなりたかったもの、エミヤ切り継ぐが正しいと信じたもの、それは
Not only that, but not sorry, just a little add on. Go back, please.
Yeah.
What Emiya Kiritsugu thought was right, erroneously thought before the Holy Grail War is not only a borrowed ideal, it's a dated ideal.
It's an unrefined,
Yes.
uncritically
a
looked
proven
at.
wrong ideal. A proved wrong ideal.
I grit my teeth, desperately trying to resist my mind that is about to give in. But
正義の味方だと笑わせるな。誰かのためになるとそう繰り返し続けたお前の思いは決して自ら生み出されたものではない。そんな男が他人の助けになるなどと思う。
he attacks with his swords. With the weight of his contempt behind them, the twin swords are swung more strongly than ever before. Seeing those raging swords, I accept my own death, just as I did 10 years ago. The force comes smashing down. There is no elegance in those attacks, and they are executed using only his strength. My left arm shakes from blocking it. My fingers that held onto the sword break. The sword I made using all my remaining power is bent back by one blow. I'm dead. I'm on the verge of death from the first blow, so there's no way I'll be able to block the next one. But still, my mind is about to give in, but my body denies it with all its might. It's telling me that I'm wrong. It appeals to me, saying that it's wrong to give in and to his words and to die here. I raise my head. My eyes aren't functioning. They don't see the enemy, but show his memories. In them, I see myself curling up and desperately trying to live. The echoing of the swords isn't all I hear. He curses himself every time he attacks.
そうだ。誰かを助けたいという願いが綺麗だったから憧れた。
I block the oncoming attack. Bakuya is destroyed. All I have left is Kansho in my left hand.
Wait a minute. I think we already have our thumbnail, haven't we?
We'll see.
Okay.
Kansho is bent, and its existence is fading. My heart is hurting. Not because of his attacks, his words slash at my heart.
この身は誰かのためにならなければならないと、それが苦痛だと思うことも破綻していると気づく間もなく、ただ
He keeps on denying himself. The heart tries to give up every time I hear him. My body wants to succumb to the force of his attacks, but still, that same body keeps desperately denying him.
だが、所詮は偽物だ。そんな偽善では何も救えない。いいな。もとより何を救うべきかも定まらない。
I'm smashed away. An attack as strong as one of Berserker's easily flings away Emiyashido's body. But I still hold my ground. I frantically endure the attack coming down at me. I will not be able to get back up if I fall down, so my body refuses to let me fall. I thrust the rapidly fading Kansho into the ground and lean on it. My body sags forward and I cannot even stand upright. I use Kansho as a cane and hold my falling body with my arms. I must look pitiful. I must look as if I'm kneeling down and begging him.
その理想は破綻している。自身より他人が大切だという考え、誰もが幸福であってほしい願いなど、そんな夢を抱いてしか生きられないのであれば、抱いたまま溺死しろ。
He says that there is no value in living, no, in my life itself. My weapon is about to disappear, and there's little point in trying to keep my body from falling. In contrast, he isn't even scratched. The match is decided. No, the match had been decided from the start. There is no way for Emiyashido to beat heroic spirit Emiya. But that is a mistake. If the difference in our powers was large, the fight wouldn't have turned out like this. It is my mind that lost. My mind was weak because I realized that I am wrong and that he is right. That was my only failure. Because my body has been telling me I will not lose to you. Why? Why did power enter my body every time he cursed my ideal as fake? Oh my god, the hype. I'll reach it. I'll definitely reach it. If parts of me are broken, then I just need to use the parts that aren't. If everything I have is broken, then I use the parts I don't have. If my body hasn't lost yet, I can just reach out to the part of me that hasn't been used yet. A headache, an instant of a few milliseconds. I see him probably for the last time. I could not understand him, but I guess I could use his pain as a lesson. A hero who used a poem about himself as a spell. Even if I don't understand the meaning behind it, I will accept those words in your place. I start the spell so that I can be proud of myself. Her words hurt Emiya. He accepted the fact and chose to kill me. That's the only thing he could wish for in the end. Then, just as you deny me, I will defeat you with all my powers. Holy shit. The theme, guys. I murmur the words without realizing it. I raise my head. I pour determination into my dying body. I swallow the blood clotting in my throat. Yang's sword Kansho regains its image. This is just a dream, but I kept on believing in it because I thought it was right. Kiritsugu pursued it because he knew it was an unattainable dream, an impossible ideal. Even if it may be unattainable, he believed that he would reach his destination if he kept running. I ready my sword. I don't care about it. I will keep on being Emiya Shiro. This is so fucking hype. Let's go, dude. It is an unbelievable technique. His attacking body is on the verge of death. His fingers are broken, his limbs are slashed, and his breathing has stopped without him even realizing it. His speed is nothing, and his attack is mediocre. The boy that has absorbed his combat skills to the point where he's able to fight decently has now returned to fighting without them. An unskilled, frantic attack, but still, this blow is heavier than any that came before. Archer's indifference turns into surprise within a second. The swinging swords are crazy. They clash against his longsword with unimaginable speed. Where is his power coming from? The attacks are unlike before. He cannot go into defense. This attack should cut him through the boy's neck. Realizing that he cannot make light of the boy, he swings his sword, up and down, left and right. The 4 attacks are enough to cut off his limbs and cut up his body to pieces. The boy blocks them. No, exceeding his 4 attacks, the sword comes to slash his neck. Bringing back the longsword, he parries the attack. He intuitively understands that he will be killed unless he attacks. The longsword attacks the enemy that is on the verge of death, and the boy frantically swings his sword. Their swords crash and balance. The space is filled with sparks, and anything entering the space should be cut to pieces. But it should be the last spark that a dying man gives off. The boy loses his breath every time he attacks, almost falls, holds his ground, and attacks again. The sight reassures him. There is no power left in his enemy. The boy in front of him is literally on the verge of death. So why do those arms have seemingly infinite power? I have no consciousness. I can neither tell what the enemy's doing nor if my attacks are doing anything. My muscles are screaming for oxygen, and the lack of blood keeps ordering my body to stop. I suppress them altogether by force. That's all that's filling my head. My ideal is fake. He's right. I can't be a superhero. As long as I admire such a thing, I will end up like the man before me. but I feel beauty in it. I know it's just hypocrisy to value everyone over yourself, but still, I admired it, thinking how great it would be if I could live that way. That's the only thing driving my body. He cannot hear what this enemy is saying. His enemy's voice is weak, and yet his attacks are relentless. Looking, the boy's hands are only with one with the sword's hilt. It must be to keep the sword in place, but that will transfer the impact directly to his body. The boy is covered in blood, and he will fall forward and die if he retreats. Even swinging the sword should come with great pain. He blocks it in annoyance. His dying enemy gets on his nerves, but he himself gets on his nerves, because even though he knows it will end once he retreats, he is not able to do so. But how can he retreat? Straightforward attacks without strategy. If it is a shame to turn his back to such attacks, it is also a disgrace not to block them. His enemy will self-destruct once he retreats, but he has a presentiment that he will lose something important if he does so. The worries will end soon. His enemy is at his limits. He will fall after 2 more blows, 3 at most. He clucks his tongue at the stupid thought. He previously thought that his enemy would last only 2 more blows, but he has received over 10 since then. The boy will not fall. He cannot hear the boy's voice. The dying boy frantically opposes the obstacle in front of him. That figure. He stares at that figure with his own eyes for the first time. I keep swinging the sword with the arms that are about to tear off. The only thing I have left is this one thing that I'm saying with all my might. My barrage of strikes are compensation for that scream. There were people that could not save others, and there was me who could not save them. I swore to myself never to let such a thing happen again, seeing the memories that meaninglessly disappeared. How long has it been since then? There were things I lost, and there were things I dropped. There were always things that will be forgotten, so I swore to myself never to forget this one fact, to become a superhero. I will protect it, even if it isn't my wish, or even if it is just sophistry to soften my guilt. It has to come true. The person who saved me died, leaving those words behind. I believe in the wish contained in those words. Even if everyone in this world disagrees with me, and even if I myself curse me, And so, he realizes that the attacks will not end. His enemy will not stop. He will not stop from his own will. The boy is attacking with all his might, but he is not looking at his opponent. The thing the boy is trying to defeat is this obstacle, his own self that is hindering himself. He is swinging his sword to enforce what he has believed in, what he will keep on believing in. Realizing that, the man grits his teeth in annoyance. The boy keeps challenging it, knowing that he won't win and that there's no meaning to it. That is the exact mistake he has detested. So why? Why does he want to see how long the boy can continue? He raises his long sword. His enemy's attacks are something he has to take seriously. He repels the attacks and crushes his enemy's skull for sure. A clanging sound, the fatal attack is easily deflected. The one who could not block his attacks until now repels a swing made with all his might. He gasps. He sees his enemy repel his sword and get back into stance. The boy's eyes are looking straight at... The impact causes one of my arms and legs to break. My sense of pain hasn't been numbed. I use my fury to clamp down the pain that almost makes me pass out. The left side of the enemy's chest is open. Since half my body has broken, this will be my final blow. But such thoughts do not fill my head. The only thing in my head is... He pulls back his longsword to protect his open left side. He will make it. He will easily make it. This is my final blow. That's the only thing in my head. Even if Emiya is a fake, this is absolutely true. For everyone to be happy, that is an ideal everyone thinks of. So I won't back down, because this dream is the unwavering gaze, faults and lies, shaking off everything, running without stopping.
決して間違いなんかじゃないんだから
Those words are driven into his chest. An attack made at full strength, defense that should have been fast enough. The cogwheels never got into gear and the battle is decided quickly. He hears the sound of the blade piercing him. The one surprised is the knight in red. His enemy attacked with determination to defeat him. Then it is natural for his attack to do so. The boy does not need to be surprised, nor does he have anything to spare to be surprised. That is why the knight is the only one that is surprised. It is a great wonder how he could not block an attack he could have easily blocked. I support myself with my unbroken right leg. The sword in my hand has pierced Archer's chest.
アーチャーなぜ
Yeah, oh yeah, Saber's here. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Was she watching all this time from that place?
Yes.
Still standing at the entrance, Saber questions Archer.
Hey, remember when Shiro almost died?
He's literally doing that right now.
He
He
is
is
dying.
Yeah, thanks, Saber.
Yeah, thanks,
During the
Saber.
entire
I mean,
fight,
Saber did
didn't
swear that she wouldn't. She did swear that she wouldn't interfere. To be fair.
It's kind of funny that Shiro said that. It wasn't Shiro, but it said that Shiro easily deflected Archer attack, but Shiro's dying like it. His finger is broken. He's just going with it, his will.
And I think that after this display, and after Archer even realized it, we now know that he truly does believe what he's saying. He's finally committed. So
Yeah.
much so that Archer's purpose is done. He allows himself to get killed.
So much
Pretty
Archer
much.
like
Oh, okay, so effectively Shiro won against Archer because he
it wasn't
like
battle.
you said he devoted himself to that ideal.
He made it his own. He recognized
Yes,
its
yes.
faults and he understood them, and even so he
And
committed.
then he, yeah, okay.
Archer can see it in his eyes, right? That he isn't going to become him. It's done. Archer killed himself.
Yes, no, killed himself is a strong word.
I know.
He
That was for
gave
dramatic
up.
effect.
he gave up. He gave up.
Archer does
That's
not
true.
answer.
Kill yourself.
He did kill himself, that is true. He might not need to answer, or maybe he doesn't know the answer.
No, okay, just a question. By the way, is this murder or
Suicide? I don't know.
suicide?
That's a good question,
And-
man.
Again, is the other
Both?
question? That's the good old
think
question.
that's
If
very
you
well.
had sex with your clone, did you just have incest? Did you just have
Normal.
What is the name?
Yeah. Self-sex.
Imagine the prison
Masturbation or what?
Just imagine this. You go to prison because you kill yourself. Just
Yes,
My fingers throb.
and you're sentenced to death.
Yeah.
You killed yourself, sentenced death.
My broken fingers scream at me that they do not want to hold the sword anymore.
Fingers is oh my god.
His arms are about to pop off and his back is open.
Yeah.
His arms,
His intestines are falling out of
his
his belly. It's pretty bad.
This wasn't about who attacks more. It's about who kills two more.
Yeah.
Who-
The knight in red does not move. Even with a blade in his chest, the servant should be able to easily counterattack. But his hands are lowered and show no sign of moving. I know without being told what that means.
俺の勝ちだアーチャー
I make the declaration while looking at him. The knight in red closes his eyes once and
ああそして私の敗北だ
such a defeated man.
Yeah.
What a shame. He murmurs while looking off into the distance as if to convince himself. I pull out the sword. The projected weapon disperses as soon as it touches outside air. The tension floods out of me, and I finally take notice of my condition. It's terrible. The slashed wounds are healing, but lots of places are turning dark red. Archer said something about saber sheath, but what's that power putting priority on? It heals the torn flesh at once, but it seems to be putting off the broken bones till later. Then, I hear loud footsteps from the west side, the hallway that Lancer disappeared into. Someone's coming. She appears in the terrace and jumps down without hesitation. And she moans in pain at her landing.
Shiro, 無事?
No.
Not really.
あんたその傷どうしちゃったのよ?
Neither of them, actually.
Yeah.
No, Archer is quite in a worse situation than Shiro, because Archer is suffering from this little thing called death.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you know about it, but it's likely bad for the body.
organism, yeah. She follows her sudden
Yeah.
arrival with a torrent of questions. Seems Lancer saved Tosaka as he promised, but her energy takes the power out of me. Does she want to check on my safety, or is she angry about Archer's wound?
まったく
I think both.
彼女がもう少し非道な人間なら私もかつての自分になど戻らなかったもの。
He talks sarcastically, but his voice contains only warmth. After looking at Tosaka once, the knight in red steps back as if to exit the stage.
ともあれ決着はついた。お前を認めてしまった以上、エミヤなどという英雄はここにはいられない。
We did earn Archer's respect. That's kind of nuts.
Okay, and by the way, now
敗者
you
は
only
早々に
have,
立ち去るとしよ
you
う。
only have Gilgamesh to fight.
Oh yeah. And Saber's alive and well. Better than ever, actually.
Yeah, this feels like a best case scenario nearly.
Well, I guess...
Yeah, because Kotomine is dead. Shinji is pretty much dead, and even if he's alive, he won't be of so much trouble in comparison to what Kotomine was last time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And now Saber is fully charged because is in full charge because she is with a good master.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Boomer, but if you remember anything about the last 2 days of the Fate route, you know that no good thing goes unpunished. So,
I guess.
Without saying goodbye to Tosaka, huh? His wound is deep and he has no master. He will disappear here and he will return to the original place as a heroic spirit. It happens in an instant. It is a fatal attack that takes the opening in me as I have relaxed after seeing Tosaka. Several swords are called forth. The rain of sword comes down to pierce Emiya Shiro's body and... I fall. I'm pushed back and I fall on my butt. I'm pushed back about a meter. In front of me...
The same vision.
My broken limbs cannot support my body, and I do not have the power to get back up. Once again. And so, I can only look up at myself that got skewered in front of me. Saber's scream cuts open the silence. She is looking at the second floor, on top of the crumbled stairs.
楽しませてもらったぞ。偽物同士。実にくだらない戦いだった。
貴様、アーチャ。
10年ぶりだな、セイバー。お前とはもう少し早く顔合わせをする気であったな。予定が
I told y'all things got fucking crazy,
予想外の
didn't
事
I?
故ばかり起きてな。
I was
俺の思惑とは
my
ずれてきてし
timing
まう。
was impeccable. Jesus Christ.
Servant Gilgamesh, the one to defeat Berserker and the one who killed Eliasville. He turns aside Saber's glare and looks down at me and the skewered archer.
さて、理解したか？それが本物の
That's the real
鬼というものだ。
It's because Archer's the faker, right? He creates the
Yes,
weapons
he's
out of
always
nothing.
he's always projecting.
But he's the real one.
形を似せ力を似せようが、 所詮は
Oh,
作り
not
物
only sorry. Archer
本物の輝きには及ばない。
imitates the noble phantasms. Noble phantasms that are in and of themselves already copies.
Yep.
He is with the Gilgamesh is with the real deal.
It's the realest of the real.
Yes, it's not only it's like it's noble phantasm levels or it's like a perfect copy. No, it is not a perfect copy.
You know,
It is the thing.
You know, it's funny. I need to interject with this because me and Mapo and I often talk about parallelism in Fate Stay Night. There's some very interesting parallels in each route. This is one of them. Once again, Archer sacrifices himself to save Shiro and Rin at the Ainsbury Mansion from the Strongest Servant.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
It rhymes. He raises his hand. It's as if he's ordering his soldiers.
偽物が作り上げた贋作など見るのも汚らわしい。クズ。貴様らのうちには何一つ新作が存在せぬ。他人の
I
真
find
似
it
事だけで出来上が
ironic
った
that he
偽
doesn't
物は
even appreciate
特ゴミに
how
なるがいい。
how well the imitation is. He just casts aside because it is not the original.
Yep. He shoots numerous noble phantasms. The unavoidable rain pours down. There are about 30 of them. I couldn't dodge or block them even if I was in perfect condition. Clouds of dust spring up. The shower of sword tears apart the already ruined hall. But even in the midst of the chaos, I see it. The red cloak flies. Still skewered, he runs to me and pushes me once again. I'm pushed away from the red figure, and his eyes are telling me, "You defeat him." That as long as I defeated Archer, and as long as I want to be a superhero, I must defeat him. The clouds of dust fill my vision. The red cloak sinks inside the rubble, but I see it before he disappears. His eyes are filled with confidence. That servant is no match for us, Emiya Shiro. Neither Saber nor Tosaka will be the one to defeat him. My own self is telling me that Emiya Shiro is the natural enemy of that servant. The faker versus the reeler, right? The hero versus the arch-villain.
Not only the faker versus the real. The true hero using the fake weapons fighting against the fake hero using the real weapon.
Indeed. That's beautiful, actually.
Yeah.
My vision clears up.
Gilgamesh is the king of heroes, and Archer is a produced hero. He is created using the power. It's like you said earlier, Zevlen. He is using the power of the planet.
The power of the
But
planet.
again, Gilgamesh is not a king because he truly commands. He's a king because he has it.
He's also a fake himself, right?
Sorry. Not he has it, the command. He has the weapons. He has the riches.
He has it
the
all. He
kingdom.
owns the world. Literally, everyone is
But
his
he's
possession,
not-
his
but
property.
But he doesn't command them.
No, he
he's not
simply
a
plays
hero.
with his toys. Right?
Yes, he's the owner of the world per se.
But also, Gilgamesh.
Shiro has now been been shaped into a real hero.
Yep.
A hero that protects, a hero that commands, a hero that saves.
Yeah.
He's not the owner of the world. He's not the owner of the real deal. He's its protector.
Yeah.
And now we are seeing this again. Interesting parallel. Interesting parallel. The fake hero with the real weapons going against the real hero with the fake weapons.
And he's also doubly fake in the sense that Gilgamesh isn't Gilgamesh, right? He is himself a clone, a copy, a dirt cheap copy of the original Gilgamesh, produced by the Grail.
And Shiro himself is, to a certain degree, the most ideal version Shiro could be. A version of the version that worships his ideal, not because of a coping mechanism, but because of sheer actual belief on the ideal.
Indeed. My vision clears up. Dust is in the air and the rubble is piled up high. There is nothing else. The knight in red disappeared underneath the rubble.
Wait a minute, and just may I add another layer, because not only is the doubly fake hero using the fake weapons, using the real weapons, the real weapons, not only the perfect copies, the real originals, but the real hero, the doubly real hero, it's using a copy of a copy.
Yep. Poorly made copies at that. The sarcastic words contain some scorn. The man smiles in satisfaction as he looks down at the hole filled with Archer's blood. Silence falls. Gilgamesh is the most powerful being here. Anyone that moves will follow his Archer's fate. Even Saber is silent, wondering how best to attack the enemy. But... Shut the fuck up! Get away from here!
My Archer.
With Archer's death, Tosaka has lost her composure. Light runs across space, pure destructive force, magical energy released from the jewel without any processing. He does not even dodge it. He doesn't even scratch.
死に損ないを先にするつもりだったのだ。順序が変わったな、女。
He orders the swords behind him to carry out Tosaka's execution. The sword is released at high velocity, but Saber runs with surpassing speed and protects her master.
Saber! Lin, 下がって。あの男は危険だ。手を出せば殺されます。
You know something that I find interesting now that you talked about parallel.
Yeah.
Parallel. You said that Saber. He said the text said earlier that Saber is not the one to truly be the rival of Archer. But ironically enough, not only is she probably the only servant of the entire war that is capable of fighting Gilgamesh on a 1v1, but not only that, but she's the one that in the last round was the one that killed him.
Indeed. But it was...
So that is...
It's complicated.
Ironically enough, that's a parallel that will probably be broken this time around.
Yeah.
よかろう。ならば今の無礼は不問に付す。お前を失っては楽しみが減るから。
Oh man.
Oh yeah, that again.
Saber glares at the enemy while readying her invisible
な
sword.
ぜここにいるアーチャー。オミは前回の聖杯戦争で呼ばれたサーバント。そのあなたがなぜ今回も限界している。
なぜも何もあるまい。前回の戦いが終わった後、我は消えずにこの世に留まっただけだが。
そんなバカな。サーバントは聖杯が消えた時点でこの世との接点をなくすはずだ。ならばあなたが10年もの間とどまっていられるはずがない。
He always has a plan.
そうでもないぞ。
By the way, lies dead.
もとよりこの世との接点は聖杯ではなくよりしろとなったマスターだ。聖杯はあくまで道を通したに過ぎん。聖杯が消えた後も魔術師が魔力を提供し続ければ、最も聖杯の助力なしでサーバントを維持できるマスターなどそうはいないがな。
And so he has the battery.
その点で
We know.
俺のよりしろは魔力不足ではあった。
Ironically enough, this explanation feels like a rushed version, even when compared to the one in the fifth route.
Oh yeah, because we already know.
Yeah, because he's explaining this to the people like Unlimited that pretty much didn't watch a single thing of the original, but he's not going to go through the chores of explaining everything.
Yeah, anyway, Gilgamesh.
Little details.
Gilgamesh isn't gonna like soil himself to the level of having to explain things to all these plebeians.
But he is explaining.
Not
in detail, but you know.
その点で言えば、俺のマスターはなかなかに筋金の入った男。
Was, and his master's gone now. No, his master is Shinji.
Oh.
The fact that the man who would not obey anyone, obeyed Shinji is proof of that. Not quite.
あなたのマスターはライダーのマスターと同じ。
Oh boy.
ああ、事故で補えなければ他人から奪うのは当然だろう。
Oh.
だが、 実を言えばそのような手間もいらなかったのだがな。俺は聖
Yeah, he
杯を浴
doesn't.
びた唯一の
He's
サーバー
fine. He isn't really connected to Kotomine much
10年前に済ませて
naturally anymore. Like they have the same goals, but
They are like
he isn't
business
dependent
partners.
on Kotomine outside of the battery.
They're like partners in crime.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, partner.
Gilgamesh kind of liked Kotomine because he's such a fucked individual.
They both see each other as useful allies. They both understand that they want somewhat the same thing.
Yeah.
And they both understand that they are probably the best ones around to cooperate with each other.
And
They are both at the same level. They're both at the same level mentally, and they are in strategically, and they are in morally. They are both at the same level.
yeah, they're both very unique people, so they appeal to each other very strongly.
Yeah.
Just like Shiro appeals to Kotomine, as we've seen before.
No. Such as Shiro appeals to Saber. They both are kind of the same to a certain degree.
True.
They both. I would argue the way Kotomine appeals to Shiro and vice versa is the opposite of what happens with Kotomine and Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
Gilgamesh and Kotomine are from the same side of the coin. Shiro is on the opposite side. With
Exactly.
Saber.
That's true. Saber stares at the man in astonishment. Saber hangs her head at the words 10 years ago.
そうお前のおかげだぞ。あれが何であるか我は誰よりも熟知している。
では
ああ聖杯の正体を理解したのだ。その時に決めた。あれは俺だけが扱うとな。
Saber. No, looking down at all of us, he declares something that is unbefitting of a servant.
聖杯をあなたが使うだと。
そうだ。マスターなどという寄生動物に分け与えてやる義理もあるまい。俺は俺の目的のために聖杯を使おう。その最大の障害であった召喚者。残ったものはより代にもならぬ魔術師もどきだけだ。俺の望みにはそのなり損ないこそがふさわしい。もっともお前の肉ならばあるいは完全な聖杯が出来上がるやもしれんが。
The man looks up at Tosaka. She must feel the danger as she grows pale and steps back. His red eyes are ominous. One would feel uncomfortable under the weight of that gaze. They're so aberrant that even Tosaka is frightened of them.
バカな。聖杯はマスターが得るものだ。我らサーバントでは得られないからこそマスターに協力するのだろう。
Ah, but that is where you are wrong, Saber.
それこそがおかしな話だ。聖杯に触れられるのはサーバントだけでありながら聖杯を得られるのはマスターだけだというのだ。
Revelations, gentlemen. We are starting to peel back the mysteries of the Grail.
Again?
すべてのざれ事だ。7人のマ
Sorry
スターに
for
聖杯の
that.
奪い合い。
I'm kind of
最後の一人となった
slightly
マスター
bored
の
right now
聖
because
杯を得る
I
儀
feel
式
like
だ
I'm
と。
seeing it again. But the music is top notch, so it's kind of
そ
cool.
んなものはただのもとより聖杯の恒例など済んでいる。連中は毎回聖杯を用意してから7人のサーバントを呼ぶ。わかるか騎士よ。連中が必要としたのは聖杯ではなくその中に入るものだ。マスターなど元は我らを呼ぶためだけの回路に過ぎん。魔術師どもはな。
This is the contradiction. This is the funny part. I don't remember if they talked about it in the Fate route.
先ほども言っただろ。事故で補えないのならよそから奪ってくるのが奴らだと。聖杯を満たす守護者とも言える霊長最強の魂こそが奴らが求めたものだ。
Now look at this.
7人のサーバン
I'm not gonna explain it in
元々聖杯
detail,
にくべられる生贄のことらしいぞ。
but I will point it out because it's a very interesting contradiction. What we know about the Grail from the last time was that the Grail is summoned, one of the servants wins, and he picks up the Grail for the Master, and both of them share the wish, right?
Yes.
But look at what Gilgamesh is saying right now. The 7 servants are sacrifices they prepared. They are the contents. All of them are the contents of the Grail. How
So
then
wait a minute.
can somebody win?
When every single servant gets turned into dust after they die, they effectively go to the Grail.
Yes. But here's the deal. If the Grail needs 7 servant souls to be fulfilled, how can anyone win?
Elaborate.
I won't.
Please.
Maybe Gilgamesh can win.
No, you
Because
can't. You can certainly make a wish. We saw that last time,
No,
but
I
the
already
scale
know, I already
isn't
know.
complete.
We already saw that the Holy Grail is a big monkey spot. It never truly works.
But maybe that's why it just isn't complete.
Oh,
What will make it complete?
Well, we're in the right conditions now, right? There's an 8th, someone that can touch the Grail even with 7 sacrifices.
Yeah.
Gilgamesh has figured it
So
out.
effectively, before the only one that could truly have its wishes turned true, it's the master, because it doesn't need to become a sacrifice for the Grail.
No, but the Master can't access the Grail. That's the big problem with the Grail system. It's fundamentally broken.
But through the servant it becomes.
That's the fundamental issue with the Grail system.
Wait a minute,
You can
wait a
only
minute,
get
wait a
it
minute.
almost full. You can't ever get it full.
Wait a minute. How the hell did Kotomine Kirivan had that fire started?
No, his
and
wish
kept
his wish
Gilgamesh-
was partly complete. It wasn't fully complete. He wanted the death of mankind. Only 100 people died.
Jesus.
Remember, he himself said that.
Kotomine Kiri, that man.
He explained it in very good detail, but we didn't have this piece that was lacking, right?
Oh, okay.
That's why.
You just want to kill everyone, Jesus Christ.
That is
man.
actually why he's here again. He wouldn't have to do it if his wish was already fulfilled, but it wasn't. There was something missing. And now he's here with the fix to his problem to rectify the issue.
To kill all the 7 billion that he forgot that last time.
So that he can finally muse at the final moments of mankind, the deepest wish that he has.
He's basically a eldritch terrorist.
Pretty much. Saber looks up at the man in astonishment. Her eyes are desperately trying to deny his words, that it isn't possible. It isn't possible. She's trying to deny it, saying that that was what she wished for. The Holy Grail cannot be such a thing.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If Kotomine Kiri is an eldritch terrorist, is Gilgamesh an eldritch narcissist or an eldritch fanboy? Fanboy, not fanboy, please.
Both.
Because Gilgamesh wants to become the original Gilgamesh.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that narcissism or is that...
I mean, he wants to return to his position as king of the world, right?
But he was never in that position.
Oh, he
This
was in
Gilgamesh,
his
he's a
time.
copy.
Yeah, this one. But he doesn't.
He's a copy.
He ignores that. He doesn't want to deal with
Yeah,
that.
so
It's
so
his
at the end of
weakness,
the
right?
day, is that narcissism or is that a
It is narcissism. It is narcissism because his greatest weakness is that he can't admit that he isn't what he thinks he is at all.
he has all the original.
He's
he
like
has
an
all
extreme
the
version of Castor. He
original-
thinks so highly of himself. He allows himself to get killed by
No,
Saber last time.
Not even like Castor.
He thinks so highly of himself.
No,
that
not
he-
even like Castor. He is an inverted archer.
Yeah.
Archer is the best version Shiro could ever be, but with all the fake weapons. Gilgamesh has all the best weapons, but he himself is a fake.
Yeah.
故に生贄は多ければ多いほどよい。聖杯が汲み取ったサーバントは5人。奴らが目指した万能の釜までは
それではやはり聖杯はマスターにしか扱えない。聖杯が純粋な魔力の貯蔵庫だ。そうだ。
あらゆる願いをたわけ。人間風情にそのような奇跡は与えられん。だがこの聖杯は本物だ。
If you insert 7 servants in it, you will reach the origin.
必ず原初に到達。
Only with the full massacre of everyone involved can it truly reach the level of true magic.
It's a sacrifice.
Of miracle.
It's a sacrifice. At the end of the day, it's a sacrifice.
ちょっと待った。
Essentially, what Gilgamesh is saying is if you get 7 servants inside that thing, you become God. Or tantamount to God.
Or pretty much I don't know. You have the powers equivalent for the god for effectively one use.
Well, we don't know that. Reaching the origin is becoming in tune with the nature of existence.
You know those pistols that only have one shot in them?
That's the thing,
it's
though.
Like that.
That's the thing, though.
With a god.
The Grail can grant you one wish, or it can lead you to the origin. Reaching the origin is kind of like becoming a Buddha. It allows you to become in sync with existence. You effectively become a god, or that's what they think. At least nobody has done that we know, because if they have, they never come back.
Partially, and it feels a little bit.
It's insane because
misleading.
When people,
because you're not truly becoming a god, you're kind of being attached to a god.
The truest.
It's like if you become it's like you are a little bacteria inside of Cthulhu while he does his stuff. You're not truly god.
What's actually nuts, and I have to gush about this, is true magi, the most powerful creatures in existence, the ones that can actually operate world-changing miracles, have only seen the door to the origin and got thrown back. They haven't gotten in, and they already have like powers surpassing anything achievable by mankind in all of its history. It's kind of crazy.
It's like you just hopped on a little bit on Cthulhu, and just by that you already have powers beyond imagination.
It's insane, man.
But if you could stay on Cthulhu's shoulders, you would pretty much have the best view of the entire universe.
まあしかし、俺には関係のない話ではある。俺はそんなものに興味はない。あるのは聖杯の門としての能力だけだ。
聖杯が門だと。
10年前だ、セイバー。あと一歩で聖杯を手に入れるという時、聖杯は聖剣によって両断され、こぼれ落ちたものは炎となって町を焼き払った。
Holy fuck! I think we have a problem.
にいた俺は当然その本流を一
緒
に浴びたのだ。
I'm gonna save because the game might crash. I got an error, so the game might crash.
その時に聖杯の正体を知った。実にくだらぬ。くだらぬが使い道はある。数ある兵器の中でもあれほど殺人に特化したものはあるまい。あれはあのままでいい。万能の釜になどする必要はない。
He's seeing the alternate use, which is like, well, we have this infinite source of magic, almost infinite source of magical energy. Why don't I just use it as a nuclear reactor to let me do whatever the fuck I want?
It's pretty much saying, instead of wanting a nuclear powerhouse, I just want Chernobyl. Just explode that thing and let the fireworks start.
聖杯がサーバントを持って生み出すものが
もともと我らとて兵器だろう。あれはそれを突き詰めたものに過ぎん。聖杯とは地獄の門。一度開けば中からは56億もの呪いが。
Oh, this is foreshadowing things to come. Heaven's Feel is going to be a ride, kiddos.
What is going on? What is going on? There will be genocide in Heaven's Feel?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
They're going to give humanity Mãe,
escape
pô,
a scenario where everyone is wiped out of the face of the earth
I just want to
by
say
a teenager.
that the god name has been spoken. Angramanyu. All the evils of the world, the devil himself, the true figure of evil incarnate. Angramanyu. I think that's the name of the devil in Zoroastrianism. The leader of evil that opposes God for many thousands of years. It is an embodiment of the evil in all human, and it is depicted as a reflected image of humanity's goodwill. But why is the Holy Grail named after the ancient Persian devil?
ではあなたの目的は？
そう一層だ。俺は琴峰のように人間をめでようと努める気はない。めでるべきは
Himself.
美しいものだけだ。
Indeed, a king of nothing but
この
himself.
世界は楽しいがな。同様にどしがたい。凡白の雑種が生を謳歌するなど。
So what Gilgamesh is basically saying is, when I was king, the world was fucking awesome, but you guys came in and ruined it. So I'm gonna take the fucking toys away from you. This is mine, and if I don't like it, I throw it away. Bunch of losers.
He's effectively pressing the reboot button on the entire world.
Pretty much.
それでは収める気にもなれん。
バカじゃないのあんた。何が王に対する冒涜よ。
Wait a minute,
人間が一人もい
Satamini
なくな
wants
っ
to
たら、
destroy
それこそ
everything
王様の意
because
味
he
なんて
wants
な
to
いじゃない。
appreciate what is effectively
The most ephemeral expression of human beauty. Something like that.
Yes, because he wants to see the fireworks, and Gilgamesh wants to use that as a big. He wants to reset his computer, and in his mind, that is literally just.
He's
wiping
literally
out every-
Gilgamesh is literally an angry child. He's like, the kids, the other children stole my toys, so I'm gonna kill all of them and also destroy all my toys.
No. No, he's not like a child. He's like, okay, this computer is trash. I will. He's like he's wanting to set back to the. The. It's like
Inflection point.
he's with a it's like he's with a computer that is effectively with a lot of viruses and things like that, and he just wants to set back to basics. He wants to format the thing back into industry
Into
fabric
emptiness.
settings. Yes,
死
he
に
wants
絶
to
えるのならばそれでよい。
set it back.
自らの罪で消え去るのなら生きる価値などはあるまい。
Which is funny, actually. I need to interject with
Pretty
this
sure
as well.
He would not only ask for their deaths, but he would ask to pretty much wipe the entire planet.
You know, I need to say
And
this
let
quick.
it back-
I don't know if Mapo figured this out. I'm sure he has because he's all about this shit. But Myth of Gilgamesh, right? Myth of Gilgamesh 101. So the biblical story of Noah is set in the same time as the myth of Gilgamesh. God, or in the Babylonian story, the gods decide that humanity is like rotten to the core and they want to get rid of it and start over. So they bring over the firmament, they bring it down to the ground, kill everybody except for one guy, and he starts from zero. Gilgamesh is embroiled in this conflict, and Noah is kind of a side character. It's kind of funny, it's weird, the myth of Gilgamesh is kind of weird. But the thing is, that's exactly what he's doing. He's doing what he saw the gods do in his time. He's like, you know what, this place is fucked. All these people are degenerate losers and they turn my garden into garbage. So I'm gonna reset.
This computer is trash. There's a lot of viruses. There's a lot of stupid things inside of it. It's running really slowly. Let's just set everything to industry settings and.
Gilgamesh is not only figuratively but also literally playing God, like beat for
By the
beat.
way, can we realize that again, Gilgamesh conception of okay, this thing is bad. I should go again. Change it back to industry. It is industry settings.
Yeah, factory settings, whatever.
Factory settings. His idea of that is wiping every single human, all of humanity, and every human creation in the course of history.
The funny thing is, and I have to, just to conclude that anecdote, is that in the prototype version of Fate, the first draft of Fate, Gilgamesh did initiate a second deluge. So that's kind of funny. I don't know. I just got reminded of that and made the connection as we were reading. It's kind of crazy. It's very interesting.
It feels so weird now in comparison to understand that this dynamic duo of Gilgamesh and Kotomenekire were planning to wipe out the entirety of humanity, and that incalculably high stakes are carried out by keeping a close eye on 4 teenagers.
Pretty much, yeah.
No, sorry, 4 teenagers, no. Jesus Christ, what weird implications.
It is literally the deluge. Whoever survives this shit are the ones that are worthy to restart humanity.
It's like that, but instead of just warning Noah, it's like, okay, I need to keep track of these 4 teenagers and their super-powered nuclear weapons, so that we can put them together and use it to blow up the entirety of the world.
その点で言えば、前回のは落第だったな。あの程度の火で死に絶えるなど、今の人間は弱すぎる。
Very intensely disturbing. He grins. For the first time, he looks at me who he said is a failure.
この世すべての悪とやらが何者であるかは知らん。だが都合が良いだろ。すべての人間に等しく落ちる死の咎。
True justice, huh? Equality everywhere. Everyone is equally dead.
Equality in genocide. If you are alive, I will kill you. I don't discriminate. I kill everyone who has a life.
Gilgamesh raises his hand. Behind him are noble phantasms waiting for the king's order.
では、10年前の続きといこう。あの時はくだらぬゴミが混ざったが、こたびはあのようなゴミはおらん。
Who was the boring mongrel?
It was Kiritsugu who told Saber to destroy the Grail.
もっとも、それ以上にたちが悪いクズが混ざっているようだ。
The swords are all pointed at me. I will my broken legs to stand, but they do not move. Damn, I can't even manage to block one of those. So why did Archer leave behind that message?
Because you can.
The swords disappear. Lancer did us a solid again, guys.
Oh yeah, man. Lancer again. Every single time Gilgamesh tries to do something, Lancer cock-blocks him.
The Golden Servants suddenly.
Sorry. Pardon my words. See, blue balls.
There you go.
In a slightly more family friendly.
The Golden Servant suddenly lowers his arm. After looking up at the ceiling in discomfort, he brushes away the dust on his shoulder. He's such a fucking bizarre man. Like he's alright with actual genocide, but if ash falls on his clothes, he doesn't want to kill anybody anymore. He's like, man, fuck this shit.
Did he seriously stop trying to have the end of his plan because he thought he would not have the same drift?
Hubris, man. Hubris and narcissism to the extreme. That's what it does to a motherfucker. It is his weakness. We have to exploit it.
This doesn't even feel like a weakness. It feels like Nasu looked at the script and said, okay, how do I stop Gilgamesh from just steamrolling everyone? Oh yeah, the fire.
The castle is burning.
Wait, why would Gilgamesh care about a simple fire? Oh, he would get dirty.
Yep.
You're a genius.
I don't know who set the fire, but it must be huge. The 3rd floor is burning down and the 2nd floor has caught as well. No, that's not the surprising thing. He really stopped the battle just because he was going to get dirty from the ashes. No, but we are. Fuck this.
Yeah, I'm always changing. Wait a minute. Why are you running away? I'm changing location. This feels like the response Gilgamesh would have. I'm not running away. I'm changing location.
His golden hair flutters, and he walks to the terrace that isn't yet burning.
取り戻したければ早めにしろ。何しろ今回の聖杯は急増の欠陥品だ。急がなければ中身がすべてこぼれ
Which
て
means the
しまう
fast
ぞ。
track to 10 years ago happening again, huh? The stifled laughter echoes through the room, and he leaves the burning castle like that. Sparks are dancing through the room, and the ceiling is tainted red. The gorgeous castle shows no traces of it what it used to be. It is without a master, and it crumbles without a trace, as if to follow the girl in white.
Damn, not only it doesn't have a master, it doesn't have anyone in it.
Indeed.
The servants are dead, the master is dead, the protector is dead.
Oh boy! We're seeing my favorite
Almost.
scene in UBW.
Please, let's put that back in next episode, please.
For real?
We are already too late.
Please.
We have seen a lot today.
True.
Most like
We
here.
have seen Kotominekiri appear.
I think
We
that-
have seen. We have literally seen Kotominekiri come back from the dead and then go back to the dead.
Are you sure you don't want to see what happens to Shinji?
Pre-revelation.
No, we are going to see the fate of Omoshinjus in next episode of Animal Planet.
She's
Yeah.
dead. Forget the man. Forget the man.
No. You know what? He doesn't want to see. If he doesn't want to see it, then it's his fault. I think that we got something from. We got something new. I'm trying to
from
find out from whom. Here, true name Emiya. Was that it?
Let's see, skills.
We already knew
There's-
these. Details. This is Emiya Shido,
Detail.
who became a hero through a miracle. A blacksmith hero who can use a reality marble without penalty to forge numerous weapons. Other details are unknown. So we saw the reality
Abilities?
marble. Let's see if we got anything else.
I
This
don't
is
think we.
Durenda, Holy Sword, favored by Roland. I think we read this before.
Yeah.
There you go. Kancho Bakuya. I think we didn't read it. Had we?
We did.
We did?
We have.
Hey, buddy, let's wait a
Yeah, I
little bit
think-
until next time.
I think.
No.
Now we are running low on.
Anyway,
Now we are-
right?
We are kind of running low on time. Let's next episode start seeing everything because something tells me that something tells me there's a little bit to see. In
Oh, there
Archers,
is definitely
Lancers,
much to see in
Yeah,
what's happening after this.
and then let's see whatever the heck happens to Shinji because Jesus Christ, this was an episode and a half.
Man, so do you believe me now when I say that the UBW's ending is fucking insane?
I imagine.
That Archer fight, fuck me. I fucking love the Emiya theme, dude. It's so hype, dude.
I will not lie, I find it very weird and at the same time fitting that Shiro's answer to Archer's question was just to go harder into his beliefs.
Yeah,
To go harder with broken fingers.
with broken
No.
everything.
It's like oh, your ideals are false. Okay, so I'll just believe in them. Oh, you can't beat me. Okay, so I'll just beat harder.
Yeah, literally. It's harder
It feels like-
without any magical energy and without fingers.
Single-handedly, Shiro proved that you can be right, but at the same time be incorrect, or correct,
Yeah,
but at the same time
it's
wrong.
like it's like oh you are right now in pain and you already emptied your resources. Okay, I will just use more of them and get even more hurt. It feels like Miyashiro is winning by literally going all in again.
I fucking love Shiro. He's such a badass, dude. Fuck,
He is.
he's insane.
It's like think like that. It's like Arthur said, you can't go through the wall. You already broke your hand trying to punch through it. And Shiro decides,
Nope.
okay, I will stop trying to punch it. I will go through it with my shoulders, and then he does it.
The fight against
Yeah.
Archer is the literal definition of Pyrrhic victory. Shiro got 2 hits in, but he also got hit like a fucking billion times.
It's not only a Pyrrhic victory. It's a
Only
Pyrrhic
you.
victory he does by doing the same thing harder. It's insane. It's insanity.
It
It's
is
the definition of
absolutely
insanity.
insane.
Doing this,
It is.
it's literally insanity. It's insanity that actually works. He does the exact same thing, but gets different results.
I know, right? It's a paradox, you could say. Mapo, do you have any comments?
I have nothing of substance to say.
This was great. This was all that I expected and more out of this episode. I knew that this was coming. And this was fantastic. So I guess
And by the way, let's all press F in the chat for the sad departure of Tyler Durden from this.
mega
amazing-
F, gigantic.
He was an amazing participant, but now sadly he's dead. He
Yes.
suffered from this little thing called death.
Indeed. Well, I guess we'll see each other in the next episode of Bladeworks, where even more things happened, and even weirder shit at the same time.
Now we have a new episode of the Fight Club. Instead of having Shiro fight against himself, we'll see Shiro fight against Gilgamesh.
And cut, I guess.